Looking at the club deck. All right, so if I get started, you know how we do it when I'm on the start. I'm going to start with a question. Every live on the club deck, all right? And we live on the YouTube also. Show it there. Grab the link. Right. But now they talk about, I think they're walking the Jews up and down the street with like protection, security now. Every time that you get a test, that's like the police, security. That's basically.
Yeah, they ain't Jews, they Jewish.
Oh, you pinned it, okay. Okay, yeah,
you pinned it.
But even a light threat, they always probably normally do that. They ain't gotta tell us.
Jewish.
I make sense though. Like, what you
Steve,
mean?
Jewish.
They walking them to their synagogue, back home and forth to the stores.
He said, you keep saying Jews, Jews.
The issue.
Like
it's-
like this, say Amalek. Say Amalek. That's what they are, Amalek. Or just call them Edomites. Amalekites or Edomites. I mean.
Is that how they get the name Kite?
Yeah, Amalekite, yeah. They know who they are. They know who they are.
You know, they have like a thing like with the I was watching this show. I don't know if you had, I mean, I know you probably didn't see it, but it's a show called Ray Donovan. So in the show, like, you know, he's like I guess you call it a fixer or whatever. So they have like, he has like his brother that has like a boxing ring, like a boxing gym club, whatever you call it. So he calls this thing, and I had to look up the word. It's called Fight Club, but it's spelled F-I-T-E. This F-I-T-E means something completely different. Let me see, like it's something that they use. Let me look it up right here. I'm like, this sounds so crazy. It's like, let's see, because you would think it's like has something to do with actually like fighting because it's a boxing ring, but like definition. And there's
right.
see this one. Here.
So we question.
Question.
Okay.
So. What's the name? I was gonna ask there.
Go ahead, bro.
No, I'm trying to think because I was reading in Genesis about when the Most High created man, but at first he created the ones in his own image. Mankind.
You talking on the 6th day?
Yeah, before the 6th day, he rested. I mean, and then he created Adam. And so is Adam created in his image too? Okay. That's all. I mean, but he had created male and female and put them outside the garden and be fruitful.
Well, they're outside the garden first.
Outside and told them to be fruitful and multiply. Does that apply to Adam too? Or
No.
no, it didn't?
No.
So because he only had 3 sons, there's 7. And what's that dude name?
Shouldn't have much effect.
Nah. Adam, Seth, Cain, and Abel. So what about does that fruitful and multiply, does that applies to the Israelites too, or just?
What do you mean? I mean, when you say Israel, but you mean like, you know, the
Jacob 12
sons.
sons.
Oh, yeah, 12 sons, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but he only wanted Rachel.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay, he didn't want Leah, he
Leah, right.
didn't want the concubines or nothing like that.
When Adam was first put in the garden, he had eternal life. And then after he bit the fruit of knowledge, that's when he had to be fruitful and multiply.
Nah, not that. That he only had 3. He what?
I didn't hear you come in.
I didn't hear him either, but is it sound up or anything?
I just heard it ring again. They rang real low.
Yeah, let's see if the sound is up. See what's going on.
Shabbat shalom, brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, brother.
Come here.
Yeah, making it lower.
Shabbat shalom, man.
Shabbat shalom.
T Miles, can you hear us?
Shalom.
Oh, yeah, we can hear you now. We're good. Okay.
Shalom,
Shalom, brother.
Come on.
All right, let's get into Genesis chapter 1,
Okay.
verse 26. Down.
Okay. If we cover this, I'm gonna have a question in there too. You said what, verse 26 is there?
Oh,
Okay.
Because now, because does that apply to Israel as being that fruitful and multiply,
that's all mankind.
all mankind.
But not Adam before he bit the fruit.
No. You gonna start out with this one, Tony?
You want to read it or?
No, I'm gonna read it.
Okay, go ahead.
Real loud, look what they got.
What's the thing? Genesis what?
Chapter 1, verse 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. Shouldn't read this one. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness, and let him have dominion over them. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creep upon the earth.
All right, so these fake Jews and stuff, they try to explain this verse away, which doesn't make no sense.
What did they say?
They try to, because the God said let us.
Okay,
So what they say is that God is in front of the host, the heavenly host, the angel.
okay.
But he's in front of them, but he's not telling them to do anything. He's like saying something that's rhetorical.
Okay.
Let us make man.
Okay. But not allowing them to help.
Now, which doesn't make no sense. Like he's saying, listen, I'm telling y'all I'm gonna do something. But that's not how it's reading. It's read to include the people who he's in front of.
Right, exactly.
But they're saying no, it's a continental, some kind of continental verb. Where it's a continental verb where you can just go ahead and you can tell the audience, let us do something, but you're really saying, I'm gonna do it. This is how they try to explain this foolishness away, which is a bunch of foolishness.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that like how the slaves used to address master? We sick today, master? Kind of like that.
So I guess along those lines, I guess it could go along those lines. What is the God talking?
Come.
Right, it's not a service.
Right, he's not afraid of the ability.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
or he ain't serving them, they serving him.
Right.
Other way
Right.
around, you know what I'm saying? But that's how, but again, the word us, the English word us, not even in the Hebrew, not even there in the text. No.
Oh, okay, so this
It's
is
applied.
actually, so when this is done in the Hebrew text, it's singular, so it's saying I or me or.
No, the Hebrew words there is plural, but the word us is in there.
Okay, so what Hebrew word plural, if it says let us, so what word would it be?
Create.
Okay, create. So
Yeah,
it's saying
in the plural.
so create is a plural
Have it
word.
in plural, right,
Okay,
right.
so when you actually assume that it's
So if
actually
that's plural, they would say, well, it has to be
the us there, right,
Because
okay.
this is how they try to explain it away. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
that'd be important when we were talking about yesterday, like, you know what I'm saying?
He don't know, yes, sir.
Wouldn't the plural be Yahweh, Yahweh?
What you mean?
Wouldn't it be them together, let us, that wouldn't be talking about Yahweh, me and Yahweh, or?
That would be, but they don't say that. You know why they don't tell you to say that?
Because Yahweh Shah was created.
Because now they're gonna have to admit that there's somebody else. So they, you know what I'm saying? They can't try to admit nothing like that.
Okay, cause they have them like, just one
Yeah.
God, yeah.
Right.
There's nobody else.
Interesting.
Because that's what the New Testament said.
Come.
Christ was also created.
Come.
So
So,
they don't want to admit that.
okay,
Yes, sir.
so I got a question when it comes to this, okay, so with that, what Hebrew word being creates plural, what would this actually be meaning like that? So like, would this actually mean that, like when I read this, whatever, without actually thinking of that, I would assume that it would be somebody else there, maybe Christ, that would help him do that, whatever, but that'd be wrong, right?
Me, I don't know, because you can't trust these people, man. They're taking stuff out the Bible,
Right,
twisting stuff up.
Right.
I know the word us not even in what they have. Just
Okay.
because the word is plural,
right,
I forgot to pronounce the word. And there's another word, and say or and the stop. It's in plural. So they say, well, because it's plural, it's got to be let us make.
right. But people might say that, okay, well, this right here goes back to the Trinity doctrine too, as well.
They do use that. The oneness people use it.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
okay,
Also, the Trinitarians,
right,
they will use this stuff,
right,
but the word us not in the text. So that's where you cut them off. Like, well, it doesn't actually say the us is not actually there. It's an implied us.
applied us,
It's an
right?
implied us.
So this would be like, the us would be more like in other Bibles would be like in italics, right? Would that be in italics? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the guy we was talking to yesterday, he would have his first problem right here.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, I mean, like that guy actually assumed, brother, I assumed like that was probably the only two there. I'm like, dude, it's a lot of them.
We
Like,
told us a lot of them. It's like giving you what?
right.
There's a whole bunch of stuff that we can, man, I mean, yeah. There's a long way to go, man. You starting off wrong already.
Right.
All right, so let us make man, right?
Okay.
Which the word there is mankind. Let us make mankind, right? Because as Ivana continued to read down, what he read was just and let them. Right? Just a part where it says, let them,
right.
and let them. But I showed you it's more than one. So that can't be a singular person. It's mankind.
Right.
Let mankind have dominion. So these are the people that he first created.
Right.
Outside of the garden.
Right. On the sixth day.
Right. There's just a garden now.
Right.
There isn't a garden in a garden yet. Just a garden.
It's just a garden. It's not a garden within the garden.
Right.
Got
Come
it.
to chapter 2.
Right.
So just a garden.
Got
As
it.
mankind is there
Got
on
it.
the outside.
Okay.
And these people here, obviously, we're gonna continue to read. They have dominion over the animals and so on and so. Okay, all right. Go ahead, Devon.
Verse 27, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created him, male and female created them.
He them.
He them.
Right, so God created both male and female.
So how would you explain this part with the he them part, like right here? Like how would you explain that part?
I don't understand.
Like you know, it's saying at the end of the verse, it says, it says, man and female, he created he them. Oh, the he them will be the man and female. Okay, I got it. Okay.
Go ahead.
Verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
That's what they had. So God spoke to them. So that mean they had, these people was made grown, right? With a language intact,
Right.
to understand the language,
Right.
to carry out what he told them to do, right? They knew how to appropriate, have sex and have children, raise a child, the whole 9 yards,
Right.
right? That was made intact.
Right.
And the people was not babies and then grew up and learned this stuff. They made with it.
So this actually will prove whatever they say, like, you know, that little thing they say in the world, they say, what came first, the chicken or the egg? The chicken. Right.
Egg couldn't come first.
Right.
Where did egg come from?
Chicken.
Chicken. And chicken got to come first.
Right.
This proved evolution. You had to have something that was completely intact.
Right.
Always. It couldn't have evolved. That's why God said, like I told y'all last week, God said, I was always here.
Right.
He didn't evolve into who he is. He was always who he was, always. Right. He don't have a beginning. I was always here. I was always me. That only makes sense. Nothing else makes any sense. And that's how you see when he created things, what did he do? He created intact, a full human being, with information and everything to carry it out. It couldn't have evolved into it. It wouldn't have survived. Not with all of the animals and stuff around him.
Right. Right.
He had to know he had dominion over them.
Right.
He had to know how to be able to take them down and to try something or whatever the case might be. And of course, he have to be tall enough and strong enough to be able to deal with it. Couldn't be our side.
Well, but I mean, the way I saw it, like the Most High created them where the animals knew that you know the mankind was above him.
Even though you know that, you still might.
Right, you still could test
Try something.
Yeah, you could test you. Yeah, definitely.
So he's gonna make you physically stronger than them just in case they can try something.
Right.
You know,
I never thought of it that way. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because one of the animals did.
Lion.
Not the lion.
The serpent.
Not the bear.
The serpent.
The snake. The serpent.
Yeah.
He's smart. He's smart. He's smart. I'm telling you, he's coming. I'm telling you, well, I can't beat you physically, but I can
Right, the mind.
get you up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he did. So the people outside were told to be fruitful and multiply and so on and so forth. So Adam is not here yet.
Not
I would
yet.
argue Adam isn't here yet.
Okay.
Because when we get to Adam does not do this. He don't become fruitful and multiply. He does not do that in the garden.
So I guess I'll ask my question right now, so it's perfect. So would you say, like when I read this, I actually, don't get me wrong, when I read this, I believe this is in chronological order right now, so I believe that like after the Most High rested on the seventh day, he was created on the eighth day. Would I be correct? Would that be correct?
Talk about Adam?
Adam, yeah.
Huh.
Okay, right, okay.
Okay, let's jump down to Genesis chapter 2.
Okay.
Verse 2. Yeah, 2.
Yeah, chapter 2.
So we want the whole thing.
No, I'm gonna start at verse 5.
Verse 5. Okay. Genesis chapter 2 and verse 5.
Go to verse 4.
What, verse 4? That's right. Verse 4. They are the generations.
Indeed,
These are the generations of heavens of the earth and of the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb and of the field before it grew. For the Lord God has not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground.
Go ahead.
But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground.
So a mist went up and watered the earth. Right?
Yeah.
That's how the earth got watered. Go ahead.
And the Lord God
I want to
formed.
say this too as well. This is going a little bit backwards. Right, it's going to be backwards. This going a little bit backwards. This is going back into the time of when the planet was created, right? Because you just read there wasn't a man to till the ground.
Right. This is why I've asked that
It's
question.
going a little bit backwards.
It's
There
why I
wasn't a man to till the ground.
Right.
So I mean, there wasn't no human beings, man.
Right.
Then there wouldn't be a person there to till the ground.
Right.
Right. But mankind would have been there to do it.
Right.
They said it wasn't a man. till the
Right.
ground.
Right.
Just what you're talking about?
A gardener and a priest,
Huh?
a gardener and a priest.
Well, there wasn't none of
Give it a
that.
appreciation.
All right, go ahead.
And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
So now we get into some more background history of what actually happened, okay? How he made us. Formed from the dust of the ground, right? And then breathe into his nostrils the breath of life. Right? That's similar to what happened when people give you CPR. Right.
Yes.
So they blow into your mouth, God is blowing into their nostril.
Mm-hmm.
He blew into their nostrils from his mouth into their nostril. And they became a living soul. Okay? All right,
So, brother.
go ahead.
Verse, what's that?
Verse 8.
Verse 8. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed, and out of the ground made the Lord.
Okay, so now, so we have verse 7 is giving us how he made man. He dusted the ground and blew into his nostrils the breath of life. That's the people on the outside as well, all right? And people on the inside. So he formed a man and blew his nostrils. So now verse 8, actually, I don't know if it's in you guys' Bible, it's different, but in my Bible, verse 8 starts is in parentheses.
No, mine doesn't do that.
Mine is in parentheses.
Okay.
In parentheses, meaning it's something that they would connect. It's something that they would injecting into the text to give you a backstory type of situation.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Even though it happened, they injected it here at this point.
Okay.
Right? Kind of fill you some kind of timeline for you. Right?
Mhm.
So verse 8, Yolanda?
Verse 8, and the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed.
Go ahead.
And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that he plants
That is pleasant.
pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Right? So that was put in the midst of this garden, right? Go ahead.
And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and formed thence it was parted and became into four heads.
Okay, I want to jump down. Verse 15.
Verse 15. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it.
So that's the garden that he planted eastward, right?
Okay.
And he put the man in there. Go ahead.
And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat.
Now notice who he put in the garden.
Man,
Why didn't he put also the woman? Their argument is this is the man from the first chapter. Well,
Right.
the first chapter said he made them.
Yeah, he made them.
Male and female.
And-
Why is he putting just one man in this garden?
Right, he looked at everything, and so everything was very good.
The till the ground.
Cause this is another man
This is another
that
man.
he created
It's another man, yeah.
by himself.
Man,
Right,
man, come.
this how, yeah.
Cause you would separate him from his woman
Right.
that you made him to be with and put him in his garden by himself. Right? This is another man, right?
So okay, my question is like, so. This is why I asked about the 8th day, because when we read earlier in the chapter, we like went a little backwards, whatever, right? Like when we were talking about we had the midst of the waters and there's no man till the ground. Couldn't it be possible that Adam made on the 6th day too as well, or no?
What you mean?
Like, oh no, well, I don't know what I say.
On the 6th day, he made male and female. We just read it. He said,
Right.
created he them,
Right, definitely,
right?
right,
Remember, the devil read said, let us make man. That's mankind.
right,
That's male and female.
right,
He said, then it says, let them
yeah,
have dominion,
right,
right? When the first I thought about making man,
right.
it's mankind and it's in plural,
Okay.
right? So here we coming back, this is singular. He gives you a background of the trees and the plant. Then he tells you how he made man, period. That would be man and woman,
Right,
right?
right.
Right?
Mhm.
The man and woman that's outside the garden.
Mhm.
Then he made another man outside the garden.
Yeah, and
Then he put him in his
inside
garden
the
and planted
garden.
Eden. Because the woman that come from this man, she don't come from the ground. She comes from where?
It's a friend.
His rib.
Yeah,
A real.
right.
This woman comes from his rib.
Yeah.
She don't come from the ground like the ones on the outside do.
Yeah, there's a difference. Come.
There's a difference. These guys are really not recognizing the difference. You can't tell me Eve come from the ground, but the one outside tells you that they come from the ground.
Will both of these be Adams?
That's what it said. We're gonna read that. It says that. It says that.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Yvonne.
What's verse
You're in verse 16.
16? And the Lord commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die.
Go ahead.
And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him.
Right, I'll make him a helpmeet, meaning someone that's compatible. I will make him a helpmeet for him, meaning a compatible suitor for him. That's what he's talking about. She got to be compatible, right? Or it won't work. Will it work if it ain't compatible?
Nowhere.
That's what it said. I will make him a helpmeet for him, meet for him. Meet meaning right, right for him, right? Compatible. All right, go ahead.
And out of the ground, the Lord formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof.
Right, so again, I mean, the last verse, when you're talking about giving you a girlfriend or whatever, they had a wife, she has to be compatible with you. Have to be compatible, or it won't work.
Right.
We see this blueprint from the beginning. That's how he made it. Yes, sir.
Well, that's what the word equally yoked mean?
No.
Oh, that's shy.
It was Josh.
You're shy.
And that's talking about belief.
Oh.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Yeshaya. Oh, yeah, he's getting it out of straight.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom,
Rush
brother.
on, brother.
Hey,
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
All right, so we're in Genesis chapter 1, Yeshaya chapter 1. Read verse
Chapter
18 again.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2, excuse me, chapter 2.
What book? Ephesians?
Genesis chapter 2, verse
Genesis chapter 2.
Genesis chapter 2, we read verse 18 again.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18, the Lord God said, it is not good, but not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet for him, and out of the ground
Right, that's not right. We're making a help meet,
for him.
a help meet for him.
Right,
It's a help, she's a help, it's gonna help him,
right.
but then she gotta be meet for him. Meet for him, meaning right, compatible, right?
Okay.
When you go back into the Renewed Testament, right? Let's get it.
Okay,
Let's get it.
Good, good.
Oh, where we are in Genesis,
No problem.
I need to get Matthew chapter 15. Verse 25, I think it is. Matthew chapter 15, verse 25.
Okay, I get it. Just let me know when you guys are there.
Actually, 26.
26, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm there, I'll read it right now. Excuse me. Matthew chapter 15 and verse 26.
Louder for the microphone.
Okay, no problem. And it reads, but he answered and said, it is not meat.
It is not what?
Not meat
To
take the children's bread and cast it to dogs.
What is he saying when it said it's not meat?
It's not good.
It's not good, what of?
Right.
It's
not right.
It's not Israel.
It's not right. Right?
Right.
So when you get to Genesis chapter 2, I'm gonna make him a help meet. Meat will be what?
Right.
Right for him.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
right. Okay, yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna meet right for him.
Right.
What he's saying, compatible, but he does what he's saying, I'm making him a meet right for him. And that's what you gotta find out when you're looking for a mate, you gotta establish that she's right for you. Right, that's why there's a dating process in this time, right?
Yeah.
Before, when the father did it, he raised her a certain way. He's raising her to be a wife. He's raising her to cook, he's raising her to clean, all these things that she's supposed to be doing, right? Women today don't want to do that. They don't do certain things. So you as the man have to establish what's up with her. How is she moving, how she's rolling? Is she rolling like a woman's supposed to roll? Or is she trying to roll like a man?
Right.
Somebody trying to roll like a man, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Tony.
So is it naturally a cutoff if it's not seed of your seed, kind of your kind?
If it ain't from your nation, yeah, no, you don't deal with it, she ain't from your nation. Don't do that, because then again, she would not be compatible, or she would not be right, meat for you. You know what I'm saying? God ain't with no mixing. Let nobody lie to you. I can get, that's easy to get disproven.
No, I know that was just.
Yeah, no, but some people keep thinking that, it's okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. That's not something that's compatible. That's not right. I mean, and on all of it, you can go off into, we can take it off into genetics. Genetics will tell you it's not right.
So what about the brothers being scattered every four corners? A woman being there out of a different nation. Is that's a law they already knew, huh?
No, you scatter with your woman too. You don't just scatter just the man. You must have scattered the nation with the woman too. What it does. You don't scatter the man by himself. Yes, sir.
So where does our physical attraction, I mean, like, because now that we know not to do it, that's one thing, but how are we still attracted to like
We read the other nation.
other niggas?
Because of the media.
What you mean? Attracted to the other nation? That's she's a female.
Right, exactly. There's attractive ones, like, you know what I'm saying?
We're gonna get to that too in this lesson. We bring up with Moabite.
Yeah, but it's not, I mean, just because they're attractive doesn't mean they're right for you.
Right.
They're making themselves attractive.
Right, right.
You know what they're gonna do when they make themselves attractive? They start wearing less clothes.
No, but look at the example, like the Kardashians, right? The Kardashian females, right? You know how many like plastic surgery stuff that they've done, like alter their bodies and stuff like that to make their look more like sisters.
Yeah, I know about the plump ones.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the stuff that they like do, like and
It's just like that now.
and they attract the brothers. That's what they're doing. They attract the brothers. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's like, reason why they can be like that.
Indeed, our brothers need to leave them alone.
But they don't do that.
They find out the hard way.
Right.
Yeah, all them last single one of them.
They found the hard way. They don't understand what the problem. They don't understand what the creator wants to happen. That's the point. The whole point is you got to go back to what the creator wants to happen. Stop thinking you know better than the creator. If he says don't mess with them, don't mess with them. No matter how good they look. He said, I said don't mess with them. What did I say? As simple as that. Do what I say. This whole thing has been what the heck with the creation? Listen to the creator.
So that's the point of understanding where it come in. I'd rather for you not to be with them, because a lot of what I've seen in life is a lot of the sisters I be around present to me a lot of masculine. Like, I'm harder than you, I'm rougher than you, I'm tougher than you. And then my side of town, they didn't better the situation where I'm located, where it's like a lot of trains, I catch a lot of planes, I catch a lot of, wherever I'm at, I always notice it's our sisters want the demeanor over the whole setting. Like, I control this, I run this, I'll scream at you if you get at me wrong, because I'm gonna be cursing and I'm buck wild. You know, like I'm the Lion King in the jungle. I see a lot of that.
Yeah, it's been talked about in something like that. Put that pump their head up with that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You're a woman, you're not the man.
Right.
They need to understand, they keep forgetting their place. Everybody got to get up in their lane, like stay in your lane. You know what I'm saying? You can't merge, you can merge outside of your lane. That's where you have what? Accidents. Stay in your lane.
Wow.
You merge out of your lane, you have an accident.
Right.
Stay in your lane. All right, go ahead, Yvonne.
What's that, Matt?
19,
19, verse 19. And out of the ground, the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air.
So we see that the beast and the fowl, but some of them come from the ground, same place where the man came from.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
And brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name of thereof.
Go show you again. Adam was made intact with a whole lot of knowledge. How would he know how to name them? He names them on point. He named the lion on point, right? The hyena, all of them. He named every last one of them. Name is on point, right? How could he name them on point like that? Unless he understood that animal. Right or wrong?
Yeah.
How you think man, when he makes a TV, names it a television? Because he would. He understands it.
Yeah.
Right? He understands the purpose why he made it. Right? He made it to televise pictures.
Right.
So it's a television. So he named it according to the purpose of making it. Adam understood that animal, that's why he's able to name it accurately. Names it on point. So you just how smart he was. He wasn't no dumb.
Right. I don't.
He sounded like Adam was some kind of caveman with half naked with a billy club in his hand. Gotta go kill his. You know, that's how he was trained.
Right.
Disrespecting Adam like that with that nonsense. Adam was a highly educated man.
He didn't have to like scrub his woman.
None of that.
Drag my hair.
In every animal now.
Right.
We're talking about 6 of them, 10 of them.
Right. All of them.
All of them.
You like to see creatures, everything.
Name all of them on point. All right, go ahead.
Verse what?
20.
20. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not formed and help meet, found a help meet for him. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept and took one of his ribs and closed it up and fastened it instead thereof. And
I go ahead. Okay, stop right there. So we see that they wasn't a help meet found
It wasn't a help we found for Adam. All right,
So ICBK say that man it wasn't. There. He didn't have his wife was not, I mean, woman, she was not with him. That's how they said, his woman was not, she was not there with him. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord God went, and when it says real, I mean, he went to his family. He went to his family and got a woman from him. This is how they try to explain it.
So crazy to me right now.
That's the first time I heard that.
What?
So you saying that the guy went back to Adam's?
This is how they break it down. He went to his family. They said when he said it was real, they said he went back to his family and got a woman.
Yeah, but I mean, what family is he going to?
Huh?
What family is he going to?
Mankind.
The mankind family.
Oh.
What? This is how they. Well, then they also teach that because then that suggests that Adam had mother and a father.
Father, right,
So you ask them what their name, they say, well, they don't say.
right.
You go to a whole bunch of foolishness.
Okay, trying to defend their point, okay.
yeah. So the case, so when we read it, which doesn't make sense, because it says that in verse 21, that the Lord God caused a deep sleep to come upon Adam.
Mhm.
Why he gotta go to sleep if you gotta go get him a.
Right, right.
He can be awake for that.
Right, he can wait for that. Yeah, he's not gonna sleep for that at all.
This is clearly surgery.
Right,
What they do to you in surgery, put you to sleep,
Right.
and they cut you off.
right,
Anesthesia.
right, yep. Mhm.
You guys don't understand the Bible at all. Let me stop there. Did that answer the question, your brother?
Yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah, I don't want to overdo it. I like that. You had a question, too, brother?
No, my question was about the 8th day and all that stuff, but we covered that, right?
Yeah. Let's get the other one for Isaiah. Isaiah wanted to know their name. Let's get the chapter 5.
Right.
I could read 26 and 7. Genesis.
Chapter 5, verse 1 and 2. Genesis chapter 5, verse 1 and 2.
I'll take this one.
I wanted to.
Genesis chapter 5 from the top. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that the Most High created man, in the likeness of the Most High made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam, in the day when they were created.
Right.
Hey, can you move over the Zoom window a little bit so you can see us, so we can see the chat for the YouTube? Okay, cool, all right, cool, perfect. All right. Oh, perfect, okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so there it is, Isaiah.
Con.
Called in here at. That's where they get the situation about the Adamites. We go into now, Numbers chapter 21. Okay, Numbers 21. If there's no other question, Numbers 21. All right.
Well, that if you were coming out, you read 21 and then you read 7. It is like make man in our image and then the Lord formed and with us, like they forget these parts from 27.
So now we're going off into Ruth.
Yeah. And they forget the 7th day too, yeah.
Now they thought that Ruth being a Moabite, that is right. Going on Ruth being a Moabite, it's 2.0. I did another. Class, I'm trying to find it, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, that's what you're looking for, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when you did it too.
You're gonna need your Jasher.
Oh, that's okay, got it.
You're gonna need the book of Jasher.
Numbers 21.
Yeah, that was chapter 20.
Oh.
Okay, got it right here.
Numbers 21 and. We're gonna start at verse. Verse 10. Yeah, I mean, I left the entire lesson at home.
Oh, wow. Something going off of my memory. Okay.
Numbers chapter 21 and verse 10.
Go ahead.
And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in a bowl. And they journeyed from a bowl and pitched at Abram, and in the wilderness which is before Moab,
So they're right before Moab, go ahead,
toward the sunrise.
toward the sunrise, right? That means it's the what?
East.
It's the east.
Right.
So they're at the east, we got a location.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
From thence they removed and pitched in the valley of Zared.
The red.
Zared. From thence they removed and pitched on the other side of Aram, Arnon, which is in the wilderness that cometh out of the coast of the Amorites. For Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites.
Okay, right, I want to come now. Deuteronomy chapter 2.
Deuteronomy chapter 2.
I know,
Deuteronomy chapter 2, and let's start at verse. Eight.
Deuteronomy chapter 2, starting at verse 8. And it reads, and when we pass by from our brethren to children of Esau, which dwelt in Seir, through the way of the plain from Elath and from Ezion Gibber, we turned and passed by the way of the wilderness of Moab.
Right where I was just reading from when we came into the wilderness of Moab. Go ahead.
Canaan. And the Lord said unto me, distress not the Moabites, neither contend with them in battle, for I will not give thee of their land for a possession, because I have given Air unto the children of Lot for a possession.
So we see who's giving out land. Who's giving out land here?
Most
The
High.
Most High is giving out land here. Right? So you have the whole earth is his. He's giving out land. Put nations in their lands. I'm giving that to him. You're gonna say something different.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
He's the landlord. I gave him that. Don't mess with them. I gave him that land.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Is that the same like being located in prison? I mean, not the same, but like for the people being located there?
I don't understand what you mean prison.
Like how he'll give them like the Moabites, the possession of Moab to be for the Moabites to be in Moab, like how the prisoners
Being
are.
here, talking about in the land.
Yeah, being in the land.
Yeah, he's giving out land masses. He's allocating whatever nations in a certain particular land. That's what God gave it to them. They're not getting over there on their own. God allocate what land they're gonna gain and stay in and whatnot. That's what he's doing. He's doing all of that. People food.
Like the lifers in prison.
They want to make you think that the creator is not in control. That what's happening, that they're doing on their own. No, you're not. Because you don't know what that you're doing. That's why. You don't know what you're doing. This is not our thing. We are a creation within a creation. You don't know what you're doing. You need to be directed. But you mess everything up. So he's allocating this land to them. All right, go ahead.
10. The
Emmons.
Emmons dwelled therein in times past, a people great and many and tall as a Anakim.
So these are giants. Giants was in that land at first. So God cleared the giants out and gave it to the Moabite. There were giants in there, right? I'm trying to make it seem like there was no giant. There were giants in the land before he got there.
And this shows you again, I just showed you another eruption of the angels again. I came down here messing with women again and the children dying. Right? This is after the flood.
All right, go ahead.
With 11, which also wore a counted giants as the Anakims, but the Moabites called them Emims.
Right, so Emims, right.
So do Gabar ever read this part? Where we say
Read all this. Read all this stuff.
Go ahead.
12. And Horims also dwell in Seir before time. Whoa. But the children of Esau succeeded them when they had destroyed them from before them and dwelt in their stead, as Israel did unto the land of his possession, which the Lord gave unto them.
Right, so we have that. So the Most High is going to help Esau take them giants out and give him his land, right? Which is caves. This is factual stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Their own scholars will tell you that it was caves. You know what I'm saying? All right, go ahead.
You're okay. 13. Now rise up, said I, and get you over the brook Zered, and we went over the brook Zered.
Right, so let's wait. I was just reading about Zered over there. Go ahead.
And the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we were come over the brook Zidrid was 38 years, until all the generations of the men of war were wasted out from amongst the host, as the Lord swear unto them.
So the Lord wanted all the men of war to die. They were the one that rebelled against God. When God said, go take the land, they just said, we ain't gonna go. Right? God said, okay, y'all are gonna die in this movie. But one day when they said for 38 years, all of them died, and they died out in the wilderness. So that's why I was in wilderness for that long. I was waiting for them men to die out. Again, that's what you call mercy, grace. Not grace, what you call mercy. Because he could have killed them right away. So he waited, gave him another 38 years to live.
So he would give him a chance to clean it up, all it
Nope,
up.
just wanted them to die out naturally. He thought he was gonna die in the wilderness, so y'all all gonna die in the wilderness.
Wow.
But again, he could have did it right away if he wanted to. Still give him another 38 years to live.
Mercy seat.
Huh?
Is that mercy? Like
Yeah.
30 years, you know,
Well,
instant death.
Delayed judgment, you know what I'm saying? No, but again, the Most High has calculated, there was so much stuff involved in why he waited, because he, you know what I'm saying, he could have killed them out. But if he would have killed them out, then it would have been a problem, right? Because they needed to raise their children. Then your children get to a certain age, they can take care of themselves, now you no longer needed. Now they're gonna bury you. I'm gonna bring them in. If I killed them at that time, the children is too young. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you raise them up. To a certain age, so I mean, that's at least 38 years, if anything.
That's another example of how parents have to raise children. Children just can't be here.
Even the Most High is mad and upset what they did, he still understand the understanding of they got to raise their children. The order structure is still there. You get mad and just rash and do a bunch of crazy stuff and forget. And you go overboard. God is still enough to still say, I can still see what I created and structure the order of the raising the child still got to go out, even though you're gonna die because what you did. Certain things still got to continue. Yes, sir.
Sorry to ask, was they considered coward to the Lord I for not going to war?
Considered a coward?
Considered because they didn't go to war.
Yeah, they was afraid. I mean, it was because, you know, the 10 spies came and said we can't take it. 2 said we could and 10 said we couldn't, so. They listened to the 10 spies, which lied, which those 10 men, they died quickly, they died immediately, the whole side knocked them 10 off. Wow. It was violating the Torah. The Torah said don't do that, and they violated the Torah. But because of they listened to these men lie, is why they didn't want to go. All right, go ahead, Tony.
Come, what's the 13?
No, you were
15, I mean.
15.
Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 15, and it read, for indeed the hand of the Lord was against them to destroy them from amongst the host until they were consumed.
Yeah, it was finished. The hand of the Lord was against them. When the Most High is against you, you get it. You get you done.
Race.
Go ahead.
16. So it came to pass when all the men of war were consumed and dead from amongst the people,
Go ahead.
that the Lord spake unto me, saying, thou art to pass over through air the coast of Moab this day.
Okay, so we stop right there. So that's what Isaiah was reading. They're passed over when the men of war. Now they're passing over. Now we're starting to come and go into the land and take it. Right? I want to get that background. You're traveling through there where the Lord said, don't mess with them, don't take their land. Don't mess with their land. All right? Let's go back to Numbers chapter 21. Numbers 21. And Isaiah, you at verse 14 now.
Numbers chapter 21 and 14. Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of the Lord, what he did in the Red Sea.
What he did in the Red Sea, you know what he did in the Red Sea, right? Part of the Red Sea. Go ahead.
And in the brooks of Arnon.
And the brooks of Arnon will be the same thing. Parted it, right? Go ahead.
And at the stream of the brooks that goeth down to the dwelling of Ar, and lieth upon the border of Moab.
All right, go ahead.
And from thence they went to Beer.
The Beers, I'm talking about the water. I went from here, then it went all the way down to Beer. All right, it's in the border of Moab. Go ahead.
That is the well whereof the Lord spake unto Moses, gather the people together, and I will give them water.
Right, so it's following when this water path this trail, right? And take it to a certain place to give them water to drink. Go ahead.
Then Israel sang this song, spring up, O well, sing ye unto it. The prince digged the well.
The princes
dig the well. The noble of the people digged it by the direction of the lawgiver with their staffs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's Moses the lawgiver. He directed them what to do. Go ahead.
And from the wilderness, they went to Marathon. What is it? Matana. And from Matana to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Bamoth. And from Bamoth in the valley that is in the country of Moab to the top of Pisgah, and look towards Jeshimon.
That's right. The wilderness. Jeshimon is speaking of going out looking towards the wilderness. All right. You're up top. This is where we're going. Now we come to go ahead and fight against these people here. Go ahead.
21. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, let me pass through thy land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards, we will not drink of any waters of the wells, but we will go along by the king's highway until we pass thy border.
Yeah, so let's pass the week, we're gonna go we're gonna go by the King's Highway. All right? All right, let me see if I have this. Let me share my screen right quick.
Hey, you can make the map bigger, can you?
You come bigger with that, okay. Yeah, I can make it bigger.
Okay, cool, all right. Okay, cool. Okay,
All right, you can see on the map right here, we came around Edom. We just read we passed Moab. And we came right here to have, right, we stopped right at Ammon. This is where we are, right? So right here, where my mouse is, there's a highway that goes through this land that goes all the way up to Damascus. I didn't take a picture of it. That's why you go by the King's Highway into cross, this is Amorite land, see, right? It's Amorite, because we're right here. We sent messages to them, so let us pass through your land when we're gonna go up. We're trying to go across their land here. Then we're gonna bank over and come into here, Canaan. We're trying to come to Canaan.
oh, okay.
We're gonna go up the King's Highway though. Wasn't because if you go through the land, you're gonna go into the Dead Sea. So we're trying to go around the Dead Sea. But their land is here and here. We're trying to say we're gonna go to the King's Highway, and then we're gonna try to cross over the top people land here. This is another king up here. And we're gonna cross over into the land of Canaan.
This is Jordan right here.
This is Jordan right here. The Sea of Galilee up here. We just talked about it in the New Testament, the Sea of Galilee, all of the New Testament, and it flows down into the Dead Sea. And the Dead Sea kind of flow into the Arnon River and into the Red River right here. Okay. Underneath up here in the cave is Edom. The bottom. We came out of the wilderness here and this is where we're going around, right? And we in Jahaz. All right. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Numbers 21, you in verse what, 23?
23, come. And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through its borders, but Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness.
Go ahead.
And he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel.
See right here, this is Jahaz.
Okay.
Let me try to get another picture.
Okay.
Let me see this good. You right here? Wow. See, this is Jahaz right here.
Okay. All right.
This is where we are. He came and he fought to us right here in Jahaz.
Wow. Okay.
Right? This is where they fighting with us at. This is where we at. Okay. Go ahead.
24. And Israel smote him with the edge of the sword and possessed his land from Arnon unto Jabbok.
So we see Arnon is right. This Arnon is the river right here.
Right. Okay.
This Arnon,
Okay.
all the way to this is Jabbok River. You see it, right?
Okay.
This whole land here we took. So it became Israelite territory.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we took it just now, we said we possessed all his land from the Arnon River to the Jabbok River we took.
Okay.
We took all of that from him when he came to war against us in Jahaz.
So that's where Manasseh and the other half of Manasseh. Right.
Got then get this over here.
Got it.
And below them you have Moab.
Moab.
All
Got
right.
it. Got
Half
it.
their land up. All right. Go ahead.
Even unto the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was strong.
See Ammon is right next to it.
Right.
Right here.
Wow.
See, their border's right here.
Okay.
Their border was strong, so we didn't take that. See, all of that's there, right here to the
Oh, okay. So from the borders of Ammon, between the two rivers is the territory. I mean,
Yeah.
between all the waters. Got it.
We didn't go into Ammon over here. This was strong.
Okay.
They fortified their borders. When you fortify your border, you have towers and walls. Like the
Right.
Great Wall of China,
Right.
like you had that kind of wall up and stuff
Okay.
to protect your border.
Reinforced.
That's what Trump wanted to do, because. They started building that thing, that's what I heard.
So we smote him, but God wanted these people dead, and we need to put it.
Okay.
Genesis chapter 15, verse 16. Let's get that.
Here's chapter 15, verse 16.
Genesis chapter 15, we're gonna read verse 16. Remember, these are Amorites.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I got it. Genesis chapter 15, verse 16.
Wait, let
No
there.
problem. Let me know you're there. You ready? Yeah. Okay, go. Genesis chapter 15 and verse 16, it reads, but in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again.
But in the fourth generation, Israel is gonna come back. Because right now where they at, this is the time of Abraham, right? Abraham is in the land of Canaan.
Okay.
He's in Canaan. He told them they're gonna go, your descendants gonna go into Egypt, right? But in the fourth generation, they're gonna come back to this land, right?
Oh,
He's saying.
okay. Got it.
In the fourth generation, they're gonna read the verse up above that. Where you at?
Okay,
Read
15, right?
15. Yeah.
Genesis chapter 15, verse 15, and it reads, and they shall go to thy fathers in peace, that shall.
Hold up. We get the context.
You
No,
want to go to 12? Verse 12?
No, I need you to read verse 13.
Verse 13, okay. And verse 13 it reads, and he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and that shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
Right, so we have that.
Right,
400 years. His seed is the Israelite, the descendants going to go into a land that's not theirs,
right,
which is Egypt. That's not their land,
right,
right?
right.
And they're going to be afflicted. It says there
400 years.
400 years, which is incorrect. The Hebrew actually says 144.
Okay.
It's 100. It wasn't afflicted 400 years. It's not even a debate. The math clearly in the text tells you they was not in there been afflicted for 400
You
years.
said 144?
140.
Where you from? Where verse?
You got to go.
Reverse-
You have to go into the Hebrew to get it, right?
Chapter 15, verse 13.
Right. When you read it in the Hebrew, it says. What does it say when it says in Hebrew? What does it say? What's 100?
Ma'af.
It says ma'af. What's 4?
Arabah.
It says ma'af arabais. The 4s is plural.
Right.
100 and what?
44.
And 2 4s is what? It's 144, right?
Right.
But they translate it as when they see ma'af and 4, they think it is 400. See? They think it's 400.
Oh, got it.
They say that the 4s is plural, so that they would know it ain't 4s, it's 400. But it's 102 4s. That's 144. When we did the math, we got exactly 144 that was being afflicted in Egypt. I did a class on it on my channel. Go take a look at it.
Okay, so.
We did the math clearly. We mapped it out. It was 144 years. It was being afflicted in Egypt.
Wow.
Not 400 years.
Right.
But again, that guy yesterday would not get that. That it's
Right,
saying
you
144.
right. You wouldn't get that understanding if you didn't go back into
If you was right, because you in the English saying 400,
right,
you would not know that you're wrong.
right. And he would equate that 400 years to 400 years in America.
Wow.
Right.
Which is wrong.
That's how we keep coming up like, wow, 40 years from like, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Doesn't work.
Okay, so it'll be Arabayam, Arabai.
Khan, Arabayam.
Arabayam, yeah, right.
Plural, yeah. Khan. That's what it has there. They don't have it in plural, they have it in that Hebrew.
Right.
So they have it in plural for it. They have it in the ayin. Yes, sir.
Oh, it'll be Amah, Arabat, Arabayam,
Arabayam,
Ma'at,
Ma'at,
Arabat,
Arabayam,
Yeah.
Amah, Arabayam.
Khan. Yeah, 4s.
Come.
So they pluralize the 4 with a yum. They pluralize it as in with an e. Right?
oh, with the M, okay.
Anytime you see I am in the English word, it's plural. Let you know the word is plural. All right, go ahead.
Okay, you want to go to verse 14?
Come.
Okay, verse 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall I come out of the great substance.
Right, that happened. So he judged Egypt when we came up with great substance, right?
Right.
Gold, jewelry, and all kind of stuff. Go ahead.
Yes. Verse 15. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be burned in a good old age.
Right, that's Abraham. He's gonna go to his father, get it up to his people in a good old age. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 16. But in the fourth generation, they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full.
Right. See, when we came back, who did we kill? Amorites. The iniquity is now full 4 generations later. 4 generations later, the iniquity is full. We come back and we smite the Amorites on our way what? Back to the land in the 4th generation. Okay?
Mhm.
So I'm sure my timeline is perfect. I'm lining everything up, right? I'm going to what God said is going to happen. We see it playing out in the 4th generation. Let's get the 4th generation. Let's get it. Can we get Exodus chapter 6?
Yes.
I'm gonna give you the 4th generation right now to show you my timeline is on point.
That's awesome. That is brilliant.
Exodus chapter 6.
Now let's start at verse 16, I think. Exodus chapter 6. And we're gonna start at verse 16. Yeah, 16.
Okay.
No, jump for, yeah, 16. Yeah, 16.
16? Okay, I got it. Exodus chapter 6 and verse 16, and it reads, and these are the names of the sons of Levi according to the generations, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari.
Right, so generation, the sons of Levi, who's Levi?
That's the most high priest.
Levi, the son of Jacob.
Oh, yeah, something.
Yes,
Levi went down into Egypt, right?
right.
He's the 1st generation, right?
Oh.
Goes into Egypt. Remember, he could come out in the
Oh,
4th
yeah.
generation. Levi goes down in there in his generation, right? So Levi go down there, according to this, Levi have 3 sons. He have Gershon and Kohath and Merari, right?
Right.
And the years of Levi, his life, it was 137 years.
Right.
All right. Now I want to jump down and let's get his son. Verse 18.
Verse 18, okay. And it reads, and the sons of Kohath, Amram.
Stop right there. So Levi has Kohath. Kohath has who? Amram. Let's get Amram. So Kohath is the 2nd generation, right?
Okay.
Amram will be the
Third.
3rd generation. Let's get Amram. Jump down to verse 20.
Verse 20. And Amram took him Jochebed, his father's sister, to wife, and she bare him Aaron and Moses.
Aaron and Moses is the who generation?
The 4th.
The 4th generation. Who's leading Israel in this to kill them out? Moses is. He is the 4th generation. As the Most High said, they shall come out in the 4th generation and come back to the land.
Whoa. Wait. So, okay. So, who's the 1st generation then?
Levi.
No. Oh, I mean, isn't it from Abraham or no?
No. We said they could go into Egypt. They
Right.
should come back in the 4th generation from going down into Egypt. Remember, he's talking to them, Abraham, when he's in Canaan.
Okay, so when's
You already says they shall go into a people and serve them what?
400 years?
Actually, 144 years.
Right.
So, but in the 4th generation, they shall come out. So it's from when they go down into Egypt, in the time of Levi,
Levi first.
right?
Con.
They're not in Egypt.
Oh, okay,
They're not
okay.
in Egypt before that time.
Okay, I see, because Levi was around with Joshua and all, with Joseph and all that stuff, yeah, okay, you got you, I got you.
Joseph is in Levi
Right,
generation.
right, yeah, exactly, I got it, okay.
So that's all the 4th generation.
Right.
Levi,
Joseph,
Judah,
right.
Benjamin, all of them, that's
the
all the
same
1st
thing.
generation.
Got it, so that's the 1st generation.
Come.
Got it, okay, that's okay, yeah, okay, perfect. Good stuff, brother, good stuff.
So who's the
fourth generation that was folks that had hated the Most High.
What you mean? What's that for?
It said even the fourth generation that hated me shall.
Third, and that's the children.
Yeah, the children who
Your children, your fourth generation, if they hate you. That's a law.
Yeah, that's a law, that's not.
I'm not dealing with this right here. Yeah. Talking with someone that's violating the Most High commandment, or hates the Most High, your children that hates him.
Right, right, so let's go back.
Oh, good boy. All right, okay.
All right, so we have that. We was in Numbers 21, guys, I was reading.
Oh, never.
shalom, Mark, shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Mark.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom.
All right.
All right, we're in Numbers 21, Gabar, Numbers 21, we're in verse, no, you in verse.
Hey, did the brother that I was trying to have come on, did he come on here by chance? Okay.
Numbers 21, you jump up at verse 24.
24, yeah.
I finished 24, right?
Yeah, go ahead, 25.
25, Numbers chapter 21 and verse 25. And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites in Heshbon and in all the villages thereof.
We see Heshbon right here.
Okay.
I'm circling there, right? You can see it bigger.
Accurate, man. This is
Heshbon is right here, and
Yeah.
all the villages are right there,
Okay.
right? Here, Heshbon, all the villages, right?
Mhm.
We're gonna get to this part right here. This is the main part we need to get to. This part right here, we need to get to. Yes, sir.
I mean, see, the Christians never seen like any of this. I've never seen this as a Christian. I don't know what they was talking about when they go through all of this stuff.
The visual makes it even more.
Wow,
You know what I'm saying?
it's so accurate.
When you get to the visual, huh?
Wow.
And Con, hey, just real quick, so what I'm learning about the reason why it's important to go over maps is because remember, it is a spiritual book and it's a history book, but knowing that it's a history book, it's also a military book. So you definitely got to look at maps to see how they migrated and moved about and stuff. Because remember, especially when they were going through the wilderness, remember it says they came out in armies. So when they're going in and they're like taking down these territories and stuff and all that, like it's not just they're just going on a whim and all that stuff, whatever. Nah, like this is strategic. So whenever you're looking at these maps, try to like visualize it from a military perspective also.
Doc for that.
Yeah, but. All right, go ahead, Izar.
Verse 26. For Heshbon was the city of Shion, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and taken all his land out of his hand, even to Arnon.
Right, so this land here originally was Moabite land. Right,
Yeah.
so the king Sihon came and took Moabite land, and he was in Moabite land. And when we came to actually pass through his land, he wouldn't let us and fought against it. So we took Sihon land, this was actually really Moabite land originally.
Okay.
This was originally Moabite land originally that Sihon took from Moab. And we took from them. We took from Sihon. So Israel is actually really dwelling in Moabite land. I want to be clear, he's actually really dwelling in originally Moabite land. Right? We're gonna get it out. Let's get it in the Jasher. Now we're gonna go into our Jasher. Grab your Jasher, we're gonna get it. I'm about to grab it. Jasher chapter 84. And let's start at verse 14 down to verse 22. Jasher chapter 84. We're gonna start at verse 14. And we're gonna read down to verse 22.
Let me get it because I've never seen the account in Joshua. Hold on. Let me pull it up. All right, Jasher 84. Okay,
Starting at verse 14. This is on page 169. In your
library first, then I gotta go to 84. Hold on.
Lamar, are you sharing your screen with that or no? If you want, I can put it up on the screen.
I actually, yeah, I can.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. You said starting at verse 14?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me,
Stop sharing where
give me
I'm
a
at.
second. All right, I got a lot going on my screen. Because it's been one of the days where I've been like multitasking a lot, so I actually, I came from Jonathan's Shabbat class and all of that and everything, so I'm like, then I had the meeting earlier, so yeah, I got a lot going on today, so. And I ain't even left the room. And I'm still here. Man. All right. Give me a second here. And then I
Okay,
gotta
so
share this
I'm trying to
one
remember,
because
there was a lot of backstory that I put together. I do it took me a while to kind of like line it all up because it was I did it wrong. So I got to scratch that paper. I did it again. I scratched that paper.
This is fire.
Okay, so Jasher 14,
like
like 84 verse 14, starting at verse 14.
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Who's reading it?
I'll read it.
Go ahead.
Okay, and in the.
No, he was reading in numbers. I don't want someone to read.
Okay.
I want you to hold numbers.
Okay, I'll read it.
Go ahead.
Okay, and verse 14, it says, and in the 36th year of the children of Israel departing from Egypt, the Lord smote the heart of Shahan, king of the Amorites.
So that's the 36 year was coming out. Remember, we said it was the 38 year we read in Deuteronomy, right? So 2 years before the Lord smote Shahan. Go ahead.
And he waged war and went forth to fight against the children of Moab.
All right, 2 years prior. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And Shahan sent messengers to Beor, the son of Janeas, the son of Balaam, counselor of the king of Egypt, and Balaam his son, to curse Moab, in order that it might be delivered into the hand of Shahan.
Yeah, so we see the same thing that the other Moabite did with us, called the same man to curse us. 2 years prior, Shahan did the same thing. He called the same man to come curse Moab to take his land. See? So before he obviously cursed them and it obviously worked. So I didn't take his land. So we see the process here of how these kings will roll. Before I go attack you, I'm gonna call this man, and if this man curse you, you're done. So he called him to curse him. All right, go ahead.
Verse 17. And Shahan went into the whole army and went to Moab and fought against them, and he subdued them, and the Lord delivered them into his hand, and Shahan slew the king of Moab.
Okay. That was verse what?
Nah,
17.
I think he skipped a verse.
You missed verse 16.
I missed
Verse 16.
Okay, I'm sorry. Verse 16. And the messengers went and bought Beor, the son of Janeas, and Balaam his son, and Pethor in Mesopotamia.
So in Mesopotamia, that's where Abraham originally came from, the land between two rivers. So we see where he originated. Balaam originated in the east, right? In the east area. I'm showing you this. Why is this important? This is important because who else is in the east over there that come from the area? Who knows?
Esau.
No, not Esau.
But Job?
Job. See right there? Job also originated in that area. And Job was a man that dealt with the Lord hard.
Yes.
Same with Balaam.
Yeah.
I'm showing you the area, these men highly knew of the Most High and communicated with the Most High.
Right.
That's what they did. And they're all from this exact same area in Mesopotamia, right? And around the Iraq area. This is the area where you read about these men that dealing with the Most High. They all come from one area. Job, Balaam, Abraham, in the same area. Melchizedek, all these people come from this particular area dealing with the Most High. Okay? Go ahead.
So Beor and Balaam, his son came into the city of Shahan, and they cursed Moab and their king in the presence of Shahan, king of the Amorites.
Right, go ahead.
So verse 17. So Shahan went out with the whole army, and he went to Moab and fought against them and subdued them, and the Lord delivered them into his hands, and Shahan slew the king of Moab.
Go ahead.
Verse 18. And Shahan took all the cities of Moab in the battle, And he also took Heshbon from them. And for Heshbon was one of the cities of Moab, and Shion placed his princes and his nobles in Heshbon. And Heshbon belonged to Shion in those days.
In those days, see, he placed up his generals and stuff in there, right? What he did. He placed his princes and his nobles in Heshbon. When we took Heshbon, we came in there, we fought again, we killed all of them out, because the Lord wanted who dead? Amorites. We want the Amorites dead,
Everyone.
right? That's we want all of them dead.
Mhm.
Because the iniquity is full. They want all of them gone. Go ahead.
Verse 19, therefore the parable speakers, Beor and Balaam, his sons, uttered these words, saying, come unto Heshbon, the city of Shion will be built and
So
established.
that's what it was. Was the capital, one of the best cities. Go ahead.
Verse 20, woe unto Moab, thou art lost, O people of Chemosh. Behold, it was written upon the book of the law of the Most High.
It was written in the book of the law of the Most High God. So we see how the book of Jasher refers back to the Bible. We tell you where this stuff is written. We was reading it. I'm showing you how they go together, right? The Bible don't have this backstory here that we reading in detail like this. It has a little bit of it, right? I read a little bit of it,
Mhm.
but he didn't read this all backstory here where the Lord smote him in the 36th year. That's not in the Bible.
Mhm.
You wouldn't know that unless Jasher tells you, right? But it all lines up with no contradiction.
Right.
To be clear, all right? I want you to go ahead, brother. We're gonna read on to verse 20, I think it's 22, you said.
Okay, I'm in verse 21 right now. And verse 21 reads, and when Shion had conquered Moab, he placed guards in the cities which he had taken from Moab. And a considerable number of children of Moab fell in battle unto the hand of Shion. And he made a great capture of them, sons and daughters, and he slew their king. So Shion turned back to his own land.
Go ahead.
And Shion gave numerous presents of silver and gold to Beor and Balaam his sons, and he dismissed them, and they went to Mesopotamia to their home and country.
Right. So now he took the land, he left his princesses and his nobles in Heshbon in the land, in there, right? But
Yeah.
he himself and his main army went back into their land, all right?
Mhm.
Went to that land up. So, but in the land, he said he took captives, men and women of Moabites. So there were still Moabites in the land when Shihan took it, but they were captives.
Okay.
But they still in their land, but they in captivity in their land, right? This is important because when brothers are saying that Ruth is a Israelite, they're making an argument that there was no Moabites in the land, period. I'm gonna show you Moabites remained in the land even when we took it. Even when we took it, they were still in the land. So we saw when Shihan took it, they were still in the land. We just read it.
Right.
I'm reading in the Bible too, we can be clear. It ain't just in Jasher.
Right.
Bible gonna say the same thing as well.
Okay.
People still in their land.
So that's in the mouth of two witnesses right there. Right?
Definitely.
All right.
Right.
You know, let's go to the Bible and read it out the Bible.
Okay.
They still in their land.
Okay.
Right? Numbers chapter 21, we left off Izar.
Hey, Salakia, I just had a quick question about what's his name again? Beor.
Yes, sir.
So in Numbers, it talks about Beor, and you know when you try to look up his genealogy, it's kind of hard because you just get the Bela. It says Bela, the son of Beor. So Beor is the father of Bela, but Beor. So is this the same Beor here? And then he's the son of what is it? What does it say his name is again here? The son of
Janaz, I think you said.
yeah,
Janaeus, come.
which is the son of Balaam.
Balaam. Yes, sir.
Wow. So because I was always kind of, because I remember vaguely reading this in Jasher before, but I was like, I need to come back and kind of line up that genealogy. So basically the genealogy goes is you got Bela, the son of Beor. But wait, so now, Balaam, isn't he still around? So like they're all kind of still like living around the same time then.
Who you talking
Because
about?
you read about Balaam in reading Numbers, I think you guys are about to read it. Like he's still around too. So, like, are they all kind of like alive at around the same time?
Huh, yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, this happened 2 years prior.
Oh wow!
It's 2 years prior. Before we got to 2 years prior that this happened, that's why we read it in Jasher.
So that's why it's so vague. Okay, that's why it's so vague.
Huh.
Okay. Yeah, I'm always and basically okay, so this lineage, who does it go back to? As far as like Balaam and all that, like what nation at large does it go back to?
Oh, you looked at what do you call them again? Syrian. Syrian. Like Laban. Laban was the Syrian. That nation over there. They were Syrian.
Then okay.
Yeah.
So got you. All right. I'm following now. Okay.
Right.
Verse 26, right?
Numbers chapter 21, verse 26. Yeah.
Okay. For Heshbon was the city of Shion, the king of the Amorites. Oh, did I read that one?
You read it again.
Okay. King of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab and taken all the land out of his hand, even unto Arnon.
Right. So we read that for Arnon, right? Let me pull my screen back up that I had up. We can see the map again. Arnon. This is the Arnon River right here.
Okay, yeah.
All that and then to the brook up here. Okay. All right, go ahead.
Verse 27. Wherefore they spake in Proverbs, say, come into Heshbon, let the city of Shion be built and prepared.
We just read that in Jasher. Go ahead.
For there is a fire gone out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Shion. It has consumed Ar of Moab and the lords of the high places of Arnon.
Right. The high places of Arnon. Go ahead.
29. Woe to thee, Moab, thou art an undone, O people of Chemos.
Chemos, right? When I don't know you read it, it was Chemos. Right? Go ahead.
He hath given his sons that escape and his daughters into captivity unto Shion, king of the Amorites.
So we see that the people of Moab, right, who were undone, people of Chemo, he has given his sons that escaped and his daughters into captivity. They're in captivity, and it says it's unto Shion, king of the Amorites. We see the Bible is saying the same thing Joshua was saying. Right? Moabites captives were still in the land when they took it. Go ahead.
30. We have shot at them. Heshbon is perished even unto Dibon.
Heshbon. Okay. Heshbon is right here.
Yeah.
Try to go. Heshbon is right here unto Debir.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And all of that. Go ahead.
And we have laid them waste even unto no fire, which reacheth unto Mediba.
Okay.
Thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites.
Dwelt in the land of Amorites, okay? Let me see. I'm trying to see I don't see them others. Some other things on here. All right, no problem. Those are not important right now anyway. We gonna get to those.
Oh, so that land was originally Israel took over with the Amorite land?
No, Moabite land.
Oh, Moabite land. Oh,
Originally Moabite land.
Okay.
All right.
Right. Yeah. So basically, it was everything from the Arnon River, north and south. At one point, was all Moabite land.
Okay, got it.
Then the Amorites came and took the northern part of the Arnon River, where And so, and then the Israelites came and took it from the Amorites.
Got
So
it.
now what the brother this is a detail that I missed because I didn't read Jasher. I didn't realize that, oh, they were Moabite captive there. So okay. I know where you're going now with even if you go into the Hebrew definition of the difference between citizen and okay, I get it now. Okay, so no, but I'm gonna let you continue on because I do got a question, but I don't know where you were gonna go next with it. So
Okay, go ahead.
32. And Moses sent to spy out Jazer, and they took the villages thereof and drove out the Amorites that were there.
So Jager's up the top, see right here?
Yeah.
Jager's at the top. Jager's up here. We took Hezbollah and all this stuff here, now we spying on this top and then here, Jager to spy it out. All right? Go ahead.
33. And they turned and went up by the way of Bashan, and Og, the king of Bashan, went out against them, he and all his people, to the battle at Eldri.
At Eldri, go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, fear him not, for I have delivered him into thy hand and all his people.
And this is where this is where it's vital to understand and slow down.
Right. There's a lot going on here.
He delivered all his people. You got to get specific, right? When it's talking about who Israel kills out in this land, he's specifically targeting Amorites. Because Genesis chapter 15, 16 says God wanted them killed out.
Right.
God don't want Moabites killed out. Right? So the captives will not be killed by Israel. He doesn't want to kill Israel out. He's trying to get rid of the giants, the Amorites.
Right.
So that's what it says. I delivered all his people, it says. Specifically, the text is telling us no, right?
All right,
So his people would include the Moabites.
No, those are not his people.
Oh, okay. So who are his people then?
His people are the Amorites,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
We gonna read more about it. We're gonna be it gets more even detail. We can't make no mistakes. All right. Go ahead.
and his land, and thou shalt do to him as thou didst unto Shion, king of the Amorites.
As you did to them, right? Meaning he specifically killed out them, Amorites, because God wanted them killed. Shabbat Shalom, Servant Smith.
Shabbat shalom, huh?
Shabbat shalom,
Brother.
Shalom.
it looked like his audio is still connecting. So
Okay.
he might like he might not have heard you yet.
Okay.
Okay, now there he goes.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, man.
Shabbat shalom, ah.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay. Go ahead, brother.
And thou shalt do to him as thou didst unto Shion, king of the Amorites, which dwelt at Heshbon.
Go ahead.
So they smote him and his sons and all his people.
And all who?
His people.
They killed his son and all his people specifically. They were not trying to destroy the Moabite. His people. Go ahead.
Call us the verse.
We had Numbers chapter 21, verse 35.
Go ahead.
So they smote him and his sons and all his people until there was none left him alive.
And none left him alive. Go ahead.
And they possessed his land.
Good. And possessed his land, right?
Come,
We need more backstory.
come.
Come back to Jackson.
Okay.
That's it. You gotta come- yeah. Need you to come back to Jackson. You're gonna come back to Jackson.
Hey, can you allow me to screen share so I can bring it back up?
And I want to come to Joshua chapter 85,
Okay.
and let's start at verse 21.
21, okay, I get it. All right, Joshua chapter 25 and verse 21.
85.
I'm sorry, Joshua chapter 85, verse 21. And it reads, and the children of Israel turned and went up by the way of Bashan to the land of Og, king of Bashan. And Og, the king of Bashan, went out to meet the Israelites in battle. And he had with him many valiant men and very strong force from the people of the Amorites.
So these are all Amorites,
Right.
right? Everyone are all Amorites, right? Go ahead.
Verse 22. And Og, king of Bashan, was a very powerful man, but Naran, his son, was exceedingly powerful, even stronger than he was.
Go ahead.
And Og said in his heart, behold, now the whole camp of Israel takes up a space of 3 parsa.
Parsa. I forgot to look up what parsa is. I left all my notes down.
Oh, wow, okay.
3 parsa. Go ahead.
Okay, now will I smote them at once without a sword or spear.
Right. So he's gonna try to kill him without a sword or a spear. Go ahead.
And Og went up Mount Jahaz and took there from one large stone, the length of which was 3 parsa.
3 parsa, but this was the size of what Israel, the army had covered. He picked up a stone that big to go ahead and just throw them and just kill them all at one time. This is what he wanted to do. Remember, this is a big old giant.
The Amorite.
Big old strong dude. You go just put a stone and just smash him, because maybe say without sword and none of that stuff. You want to kill him with a big rock.
Okay.
So they was as the grasshoppers, is this that part? What they was looking at the Amorites?
Yeah, that's kind of a little bit hyperbolic.
Okay.
They wasn't that small.
Okay.
Right. Right.
They were definitely taller than the Israelites.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
And he placed it in his hand and resolved to throwing it upon the camp of the children of Israel to smite all the Israelites with that stone.
Go ahead.
And the angel of the Lord came and pierced the stone upon the head of Og, and the stone fell upon the neck of Og, that Og fell to the earth on account of the weight of the stone upon his neck.
Yeah, so we see that. You don't get that in the Bible. Angel of the Lord came and smite the stone on him and fell on that clown.
Like, on the way of like trying to throw it back.
He smacked him and fell on that.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
He's an angel, I gotta think that one. Guardian.
That's why he read earlier about the wars of the Lord. He's also involved sending angels to fight these battles for us. You know what I'm saying? As he's still doing. Let's be clear, he's still doing the same thing. Israel didn't even see that. They don't know about that. Man with a spider with this big rock. They didn't even know that was coming. They was done.
Hey, Salakia, just a real quick. I looked up parsa. It's dealing with like distance. So whatever like 3 parsa is, they were talking about like how basically like how far or near they were away.
Like a football field.
Yeah, like a parsa was saying like a 72-minute walk. So basically like an hour and a half, like an hour and a half walk for a drive. A drive like that is probably like 5 minutes. It like in drive time. So
Okay, so it's like mileage. Okay, I got you.
right. Yeah. It's so many kilometers or whatever. So
Right, okay, got it.
All right, who was reading? Go ahead.
I was we're verse 26. Verse 26. And at that time the Lord said to the children of Israel, be not afraid of him, for I have given him all his people and all his land into your hand, and you shall do to him as you did to Sha'an.
We just read that just now. I was reading it. She was lining all up. Go ahead.
And Moses went down to him with a small number of the children of Israel, and Moses smote Og with a stick at the ankles of his feet and slew him.
Slew him with a stick. So skilled we was. Mike in his ankle and then slew that guy. Go ahead.
verse 28. And the children of Israel afterward pursued the children of Og and all his people, and they beat and destroyed them till there was no remnant left of them.
There was no remnant left of them, see?
Oh, wow. I just realized how many people they had out there. So that 3 parsa, okay, hey, can you go back and read, it's like, yeah, my apologies. Can you go back and read this real quick? Verse 23.
Verse 23, okay, I got it. Verse 23. And Og said in his heart, behold, now the whole camp of Israel takes up a space of 3 parsas. Now will I smite them at once without a sword or spear.
Okay, so now imagine you 1 parsa is going to take you 72 minutes to walk 1 parsa, right? So you talking maybe about a couple of miles, maybe like a mile or so, maybe like a mile or 2. So, you know, maybe like no more than like 2 miles worth of distance. So the army, the camp of Israel was maybe about 6 miles worth of people, 6 to 7 miles worth of people.
Right.
That's how many was out there.
Wow. That's a lot, bro.
China don't want it.
They already out here.
Go back where you reading from.
Verse 28?
29.
29. Moses afterwards sent some of the children of Israel to spy out Jazer, for Jazer was a very famous city.
Very famous city. Let me bring it back up.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Oh, good stuff. Back up the map.
And these people.
Jazz are up here. This is where we at. In the spy out.
Okay.
Spy the city out.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, these armaments, they not the Amorites, they not the modern day Japanese who we hear to the day.
No. These are remnants of giants. These are the giants right here. Amorite, the Lord wanted them killed out from Genesis chapter 15, verse 16. He wanted them dead once the iniquity got full.
Calm.
All right. Go ahead, brother.
Okay. Verse 30. And the spies went to Jazer and explained it. And explored, I'm sorry. And the spies went out to Jazer and explored it. And the spies trusted in the Lord. And they fought against the men of Jazer.
Go ahead.
And these men took Jazer and its villages, and the Lord delivered them into their hand, and they drove out the Amorites who had been there.
So drove out the Amorites who had been in Jazer. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel took the land of the 2 kings of the Amorites, 60 cities which were on the other side of Jordan, from the brook of Arnon unto Mount Hermon.
Let's get that. Hold up. Let me see my map right here. Let's bring this up. Right. So they took all of this right here. From the brook goes on. Let me go back out. All of Mount Hermon up here. See it? From here all the way up here they took.
Wow.
From here all the way up here they took Mount Hermon.
Okay.
Mount Hermon in tradition is where they say that there was another eruption of fallen angels that came down here on this Mount Hermon, and this is also a specific degree. I think it's 33rd point something degree is where this mountain resides at.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
We're gonna go to that Mason 33 degree stuff. It's right where it said that this mountain, the degrees lands right there where there was another eruption of angels, and that's where these giants come from. They originate in this particular area right here. This is what some sources say. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm saying it was all true, but it's what some sources say happened here in Mount Hermon. Anybody can Google that and see, right? So it's from Jabruk all the way to Mount Hermon they took at this time. So all this land right here, this way, as Nathaniel talked about, this is where Reuben, Gad, and half of Manasseh took this land, these portions right here.
Okay, yeah, right.
So we're seeing how we took it. We're going through the history of how we took it.
Right.
And that's what they got it. All right. I was trying to make that a little bigger, but it can't, no, I can do it. Let me see here. I can drag it down.
Here you got drag it, yeah. There you go. Yeah, like that, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see it more better,
Mhm.
more bigger.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna leave it up for a second.
Okay.
We're gonna come into the Bible now.
Okay, cool. All right.
We got that information there. Cause no, did you read, did you finish it off?
We're to go to 30?
33, did you finish 33?
Oh, no, I think I'm at 30 right now.
No, you got 30.
I'm at 32? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so 32. And the children of Israel took the land of the two kings of the Amorites, 60 cities which were on the other side of Jordan, from the brook of Arnon unto the mount to Mount Hermon.
So we see here Arnon is way down here at the bottom.
Right,
It's all the way to Mount Hermon.
Wow.
right,
So
yeah,
it's
there you
two
go,
of them. It
right
ain't
there,
separate yet, from Arnon all the way to the top.
right.
All right, that's what they took. So all that land they got now. Go ahead.
Okay, verse 33. And the children of Israel journeyed and came into the plain of Moab, which is on the other side of Jordan by Jericho.
So here, this is where they consider play the Moab right here.
Right,
This is where we're getting into the meat of. Now we're gonna get into Ruth. She's supposed to be in the era right here. And they came to the plains of Moab on this side of Jordan.
right.
And we're gonna do with this part, but we can need a little bit more background. Oh, here. Go back to the Bible.
All right.
Want to come back to the Bible real quick. I want to get Shai-Han background. We're gonna come to Deuteronomy. Chapter 3. Because I forgot to get Shai-Han background when we was here. Well, let's get Shai-Han background since I missed it, but we gotta get it.
Okay.
Then we're gonna get right into Bashan, into Deuteronomy chapter 2. And let's start at verse. 25, 24.
I'll take this one. Deuteronomy, chapter 2, verse, 24.
Yes,
And it reads, rise ye up, take your journey and pass over the river Arnon. Behold, I have given unto thy hand Sihon, the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land, being to possess it and content with him in battle.
go ahead.
25. This day will I begin to put the dread of thee and the fear of thee upon the nations that are under the whole heaven, who shall hear report of thee and shall tremble and be in anguish because of thee.
Right, so what Moses said, now he's gonna put the fear of Israel upon these nations, on these other nations, okay? They're gonna hear what the Most High is doing with Israel, and they're going to shake in their. Right? Let me pull the verse that corroborate this. Let's keep backing up all things. The next book over, Joshua chapter 2. Because the Canaanite Rahab says this. Joshua chapter 2. And let's read verse 9. This is Rahab talking.
Joshua chapter 2, verse 9, and it reads, and she said unto the men, I know that the Lord has given you the land, and that your terror is falling upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faith because of you.
See that?
Faith.
See, know that. Because we just read in 25 where God said, start putting their fear upon you. She said, I know God given the land of the inhabitants, they are afraid and faint because of you. Is what she's saying, right? I want to read the whole. If we could, let's continue to read. Go ahead.
10. Joshua chapter 2, verse 10. For we have heard now the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when ye came out of Egypt.
We heard.
Go ahead.
And what ye did unto the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side Jordan, Shimon, Shion, and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed.
Which we're gonna finish reading about that. We do that right now. Go ahead.
11. And as soon as we had heard these things, our heart did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in heaven above and in earth beneath.
We need to stop right there.
Okay, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she see that?
Yeah.
She recognized what's what immediately. So I know your God is the real God. Everybody's afraid. All these men is scared. No more courage in none of them no more. They don't want no problem with y'all. Smoke. No smoke. No problem. Whatsoever.
Yeah, that part, that Ferguson's a murder, man, they running.
Go. Go. That's what to do the wrong. Yes, sir.
So if the nation tried to come against us, they just like really see us as a problem and they just tried to come up against us, the Most High, you think he would have our back right now, or?
If we keep in law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
And have a faith in the Mashiach Yahushua.
Right.
We have no, but if you have that, you have nothing to worry about. They can't touch you. Can't touch you. They can, listen, they have no angle against you if you're keeping laws, statutes, and commandments and have your faith in Hamashiach Yahushua. They have nothing to do against you, nothing. They're trying to go get the guy big old stone.
Right.
Coming in.
Right, look at that, yeah.
Angel came and smite him. We didn't even know about it.
Right. Yeah.
So he's fighting for you with stuff that you don't even know nothing about.
Right. Right.
All you gotta do is stay locked in to what you're supposed to be doing. Everything else around you is taken care of. We reading it right in the book.
I hear awesome. And then so, man,
All you got, brother, is all gonna work out in the end. It doesn't matter how bad it looks. I'm telling you, it don't matter how bad it looks. He's gonna turn it. He's gonna turn out good for you in the end. The book tells you this. Go ahead.
You know, I mean, I do be saying a lot of races do normally come against us, you know what I mean? But that's under a different setting. It reminds me how many bullets got slapped out of my face in the shootouts.
Really?
Oh, and I'm seeing them. One might hit me, the bow hit my arm, like, oh my God. You see like a shadow ricochet around me with all the bullets. I mean, a billion shootouts, you know, I might get hit once, so then get hit. But I'm talking about extension clips emptied out on me, like, wait a minute, how is it that I ain't questioning braids being skinned off. I'm like, wait a minute. Gotta be the age. Gotta be.
Yeah, right.
Couldn't be
Really,
nothing else.
Oh, yeah, all praises, remember that, man. Oh,
Yo, hey, is that why the one brother, well, I don't know if call him brother now, the guy Balaam, is that's why he knew like to trick them to get them to lust after the women? Because we got to get them from under following the truth because now they're vulnerable. That's why he done that.
Yep.
So it'll be safe to say like with this like certain rap music and certain things, it's like Hashatan know if he can get us to get our mind dabbling in things, we are like on a devil's playground, so to speak. So he got open.
Yep.
Definitely.
It's all about getting you off track. Getting you off track. Because that's the only angle he has to get at you. He has to get you off track.
Right.
He can't touch you if you're on track.
And he had a lot of ways to get you off track.
Starting with the women.
Oh, yeah.
Or any weaknesses.
Anything. You can exploit all weakness.
Yeah, whatever you like, that's where you gonna.
That's why you want to remove all of that hatred and malice from you, and that's another weakness. It's not a doorway.
You're right. Okay, yeah.
That's where the Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy chapter 2. And you left off at verse.
Who was reading that?
I think,
Oh, sorry, was it? Okay.
So I want me to jump down, Tony, because I want to read, jump down to verse 30, Tony.
Come.
Deuteronomy chapter 2, we're gonna read verse 30 now.
Come. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 2, starting at verse 30, and it reads. But Shion, king of Heshbon, would not let us pass by him. For the Lord thy God hardens his spirit.
See that? Now y'all understand why he didn't let us go. God hardened his spirit like he did with Pharaoh. Hardened him all up.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
And made his heart obstinate, that he might deliver him unto thy hand as appeared this day.
Yeah, because remember, he wanted them dead from Genesis chapter 15, verse 16. Right? See that?
Yeah, right.
So listen, remember, that's why you gotta feel locked in. When you're trying to show someone something, they not listening to you.
Right.
It could be God hardening them.
Right.
You don't want them to get it.
Could be. That's a possibility.
But you want to turn them out the way for whatever else they've been doing. If they're doing some wicked stuff, you know nothing about the guy like, nah, I'm gonna harden you up because what you did over here, you know nothing about. And you like, man, this guy, when he tripping, God might be hardening him up.
I never
rule that out. You know what I'm saying? It could be hardening them because he don't want them to see it. But he do some other stuff that he don't like.
Right, probably, yeah, definitely, probably, yeah.
And the Amorites was doing. All right, go ahead.
31. Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 31. And the Lord said unto me, behold, I give begun to give Sion and his land before thee, being to possess that thou mayest inherit his land.
Go ahead.
32. Then Shion came out against us, he and all his people, to fight at Jahaz.
God.
So he came out and all his people to fight at Jahaz. Okay, go ahead.
33. And the Lord our God delivered him before us, and we smite him and his sons and all his people.
Be clear. I want to emphasize it that he who we killed, his son and all his people.
I get it now, yeah.
They were Moabite captives. He didn't kill them.
Right, I got it, I got it.
Specifying his people.
Right,
who we
yeah.
killed. Go ahead.
34. And we took all his cities at that time and utterly destroyed the men and the women and the little ones, and every city we left none to remain.
Right, so this is where brothers read this and say, see, they left none to remain. They thinking they killed
Everybody there.
even the captives, Moabite captive. No, it's him, his people.
Right.
Who left them none to remain. Go ahead.
35. Only the cattle we took for a peer unto ourselves, and the spoil of the cities which we took.
The spoil can include human beings. Right? The spoil can include human beings as well. I'm saying that's what we took.
Good. Okay, yeah.
We took them for a prey. Prey can be that too as well. You know
Gold.
what I'm saying? And sport can be human beings includes, that can mean the captives too as well. But even if that, I'm still gonna read for you again where the Moabites are still in the land. Watch. Even after this, I'm gonna read for you where they're still there. They have not gone nowhere yet. All right, go ahead. Verse 36.
Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 36. From Era, which is by the brink of the river of Amron.
Arn, go ahead.
Arn, and from the city that is by the river, even unto Gilead, there was not one city too strong for us. The Lord our God delivered all unto us.
All right, hold up. Go ahead.
37. Only unto the land of the children of Ammon thus comest not, nor unto any place of the river Jabbok, nor unto the cities of the mountains, nor unto whatsoever the Lord our God forbid us.
Yeah, these certain things he forbade them not to do. One of the things would be, don't kill the Moabite captives.
Yeah.
Don't kill them. Remember, he don't want Moabite dead. Because if he did, we'd have took the land below the Arnon River if he wanted them dead before we even got up there to above the Arnon River. We passed Moab and went. And we ready where God said, don't mess with them. I'm gonna give you their land, don't deal with them. Continue to go up. All right. Now I want to come on down to chapter 3. Now we're gonna deal with Here's a little backstory here. Go ahead.
Come. Then we turned and went up the way to.
Oh, wait. Before you go, Shabbat Shalom, Emmanuel. Shabbat Shalom.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Emmanuel.
Shabbat shalom, brother.
Shabbat shalom, Michael.
Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, we in Deuteronomy chapter 3, brother. Deuteronomy chapter 3.
From the top.
From the top. All right, go ahead, brother.
Deuteronomy chapter 3 from the top. Then we turned and went up the way of Bazan
To
Bazan, and the king of Bazan came out against us, he and all his people, to battle in Edrei.
So he and all his people came out to battle. Go ahead.
2. And the Lord said unto me, fear him not, for I will deliver him and all his people and his land unto thy hands, and thou shalt do unto him as thou didst unto Shion, king of the Amorites, which dwell at Hezbon.
Go ahead.
So the Lord our God delivered unto our hands also the king of Bazan, and all his people, and we smite him until none were left to him remaining.
See, specifically,
Right.
none to him remaining.
Him.
Man, his people, him.
It sounded like all the Moabites wasn't together, it was probably so big.
But they ain't even kept there, yeah. So go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 3, verse 4. And we took all his cities at that time. There was not a city which we took not from them. 80 cities, all the region of Argod, the kingdom of Og and Bazan.
So we said 80 cities.
Right.
That's what?
60.
60. You read that in Joshua. Look, 60 cities.
Right. Same number, yeah.
Same thing, right?
They're like a state.
I'm just showing you how the book of Joshua is lined up with the Bible perfectly. It goes together.
Right.
These people are talking about the book of Joshua, don't know what they're talking about. They're completely lost. All right, go ahead.
7, but all the cattle and the spoil of the cities we took for a prayer of ourselves.
Go ahead.
And we took at that time out of the hands of the 2 kings of the Amorites the land that was on this side Jordan, from the river of Arnon unto Mount Hermon.
He's right here again. See, from Arnon, right down here, all the way up here. The Hermon. This is a huge land. Go ahead.
Hermon, the Sidonians called Sidonians called Siron, and the Amorites called it Shanir.
Go ahead.
All the cities of the plain, and all Gilead, and all Bazan unto Shalaka, and Edrei, city of the kingdom of Og and Bazan.
Bashan.
Bashan.
Go ahead.
11, for only king of Bazan remained of the remnant of giants. Behold, his bedstand was a bedstand of iron. Is it not in Rabath of the children of Amram? 9 cubits was the length thereof, and 4 cubits of breadth of it, after the cubits of a man.
All right. Okay, so we saw how long the biggest bed was. Right, so that's 13.5 feet long. And it's about 6 feet wide. The giant. Okay, this bedstead. So he's at least about 13 feet. 13 feet tall. Wow. He's 6 feet across this way.
Oh,
Yeah. This is the guy that took the
rock, yeah, I'm like, it's like you bowling ball type of.
there was no weak dude.
Right.
All right, now let's go back to we got that background.
Okay.
Could this be some of the people? Because I heard that because we can't trace back what that brother Goliath, that guy Goliath, is this like some of his people?
Yes. Alive is, yeah, he's going to run over the giant. All right, let's go back to Numbers 22, where we were. Number 22. And verse 1.
Numbers chapter 22 and verse 1. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in the plains of Moab on this side Jordan by Jericho.
Right. So now we're in the plains of Moab, right?
Yeah.
So right here, between Numbers chapter 21, verse 35, and Numbers 22, what fits in between there? The entire book of Deuteronomy fits right here. Right here, the entire book of Deuteronomy fits right here. I'm gonna read it. The entire book fits right here. Let's get Deuteronomy chapter 1.
Okay.
Verse 1. You're on the verse 1. Down to verse 5.
Okay.
The entire book of Deuteronomy fits right here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
Let everybody get there. We all there? All right. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, go ahead. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 1, and it reads, These be the words of Moses spake unto all Israel on this side of Jordan in the wilderness, in the plains over against the Red Sea between Paran and Tophel and Laban and Hazeroth and Hazahab.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. These are 11 days' journey from Harab by the way of Mount Seir unto Kadesh Barnea.
Kadesh Barnea, from Mount Seir coming up. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And it came to pass in the 40th year, in the 11th month, on the first day of the month, that Moses spake unto the children of Israel according unto all the Lord had given him in the commandments unto them.
Go ahead.
After he had slain Shahan, the king of the Amorites.
Stop. We just read that. After we just ready killed him. Go ahead.
Which dwelt in Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, which dwelt in Ashtaroth and Edrei.
We also read that. We just laid him. Go ahead.
On the other side of Jordan, in the land of Moab, began Moses to declare this law, saying,
right? Killed them 2 kings in the land of Moab. Moses began to declare this what? Second law. Deuteronomy is called the second law. The entire book of Deuteronomy fits right in between the end of chapter 21 in Numbers and 22. Is right here, he goes up into this whole situation here. And as we read, he gave the backstory in chapter 2 and 3, the two kings.
Right.
After that portion, he started to get you law like crazy, nothing but law,
Mhm.
law, nothing but law.
Mhm.
The entire book of law. Then we come all the way, let's turn now to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 29. From that point, it's all, fact check me, please. We are going to making it up. Fact check me. This is what I do. It's all law, all law. We get to the 29th chapter. We know Deuteronomy 28 is about the law, if you do and you don't, all that is law like crazy.
It is.
Verse 29,
29th chapter, verse 1.
verse 1, okay. Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 1. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab.
Where?
The land of Moab.
Where we are, the land of Moab still. Go ahead.
Besides the covenant which he made with them in Haran.
Horeb. That covenant in Horeb, right? Was made there with Moses. This is another covenant he made them in the land of Moab, right? That's when you come to the book of Romans, Paul talks about the covenants. In the giving of the covenants, Paul say, comes to us. Romans chapter 9 tells us this, and the giving of the covenants. Let's read it. I'm trying to make this stuff up. Two covenants, this is what he's covering. They all make with one people. Yes, sir.
This the reason why Moses could be buried in mold? But you know, we normally
He
bury
be
with our
ready to
people.
come.
Alright.
You said Romans chapter 9?
Verse 4 and 5.
Okay, I got it. Romans chapter 9, verse 4 and 5.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Who are Israelites,
Uh-huh.
to whom pertaineth the adoption
Uh-huh.
and the glory
Uh-huh.
and the covenant,
And the who?
the
The
covenant.
covenants. Two. Right in Deuteronomy talks about them. One in Horeb and one made here in the land of Moab. This is what Paul is referencing when he says, and the covenants. Give two covenants. Right? Can we clear? Let's drop that.
Okay, wait, so I want to be sure of these covenants. So covenant would be all the law, one covenant would be all the laws in Deuteronomy, and the other one would be the Ten Commandments. That be that correct or no? Okay, gotcha. Okay.
All right, let's go from there. I want to get one more in Deuteronomy to the end. So again, and then Moab, this is another covenant given with Israel again. Right? And then at the end of it is when Deuteronomy 34.
34.
This when, right? Because when Moses is ready to die, he dies in his land. Where we at right now?
Right,
The second law, he then died here in this land. Put Deuteronomy fits in.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I never thought of it like this. That's actually right there.
This is the snippet for those, because brother, it's tedious when you try to get Exodus, right? Leviticus and Numbers and Deuteronomy in chronological order.
Right.
Just to help you. I done knocked out the whole book of Deuteronomy for you.
Right.
You where it fits. That's not the way you just right. You where it fits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And with your chronology.
Okay.
Deuteronomy chapter 34. No, sorry. It's before we get to get Numbers. Yeah, I'm in my notes. I left that out. Numbers 31. Then we're going to come to Deuteronomy. We'll get Numbers 31 right quick. Number 31. Let's go. Yeah, number 31 and 1. Whoever got that can go ahead and read it. Numbers 31, verse 1.
That's it here. Numbers chapter 31, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites, after shall thou be gathered unto thy people.
So before he died, he had to go avenge himself of the Midianites. We're gonna read that next. Right? He got to avenge himself, then Moses dies, right? He then talks about the whole Deuteronomy, makes this covenant. The Lord tells him, avenge yourself of the Midianites, then you're gonna die. Okay? You want to be clear. We have that. So then he dies in Deuteronomy 34. Deuteronomy 34, verse 1. And we're gonna come out to Numbers 22.
Okay, now Deuteronomy chapter 34, verse 1. And Moses went up from the plain of Moab unto the mountain of Nebo to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho.
That's where we was at, right? Go ahead.
And the Lord showed him all the land of Gilead unto Dan.
Showed him all the land of Gilead, meaning he looked across the Jordan on the west side, right? 'Cause it was on the east side of rising of the sun.
Right.
So he went up on this mountain and he showed him all the land and the Dan, all to the top. He showed him the whole Canaanite land that they were going to get. So he showed it to him, all right? From Gilead all the way up to Dan, all right? Hold on, let me see if I have one. Do I have that map here? It's all the land that they took, Manasseh, Gad, and Reuben, right?
Right,
You see that here? It's over here. He showed them all this land over here. From this point, look, he showed them all this on this high mountain.
Right.
Is what he showed them. I'm trying to see if I have. I know I took a few maps. To see if I have that on the other side. I don't think I have that. We can go back. This is where we at now. We come to this point. Into the lesson. Okay? You see, Simeon, Ephraim, Judah, Dan, all the way. We showed them all the land over here.
Oh, okay, right.
Go ahead.
Verse 2. And all Naphtali and the land of Ephraim and Manasseh and all the land of Judah unto the utmost sea.
Utmost sea is the
Mediterranean.
Yeah. Anyway, let's stop it there. We saw that he died. We know that. In the Deuteronomy when he died.
Okay.
Let's go back to the book of Numbers 22, right? That's where Deuteronomy fits in Numbers 22, actually. Okay. Chronological order is where that happened right there. So Numbers chapter 22, and now let's get verse 2. No, what before we get verse 2? Backstory. Aha. We need the backstory in Joshua.
Okay.
Joshua 85, verse 33. Let's get the backstory right now. Joshua chapter 85, and let's start at verse 33. We need this backstory here before we start to read that in Numbers. We're going to read out the verse, I think it's verse 40, 48. No, 50, I think it's 50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Right. Joshua chapter 85, verse 33. And the children of Israel journeyed and came into the plain of Moab, which is on the side of Jordan by Jericho.
Okay, we started, that's where we at. Go ahead.
And the children of Moab heard all the evil which the children of Israel have done to the two kings of the Amorites, to Shion and Og. So all the men of Moab were greatly afraid of the Israelites.
Right, we read that in Deuteronomy 2:25, with the fear upon them. So when they heard on the two kings, they was afraid of us. Go ahead.
Verse 35. And the elders of Moab said, behold, the two kings of Amorites, Shion and Og, were more powerful than all the kings on the earth, could not stand against the children of Israel. How then can we stand before them?
So those two kings were the most powerfulest king on the entire earth. And they could not stand against Israel. Well, to me, though, we don't stand a chance.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 36. Surely they sent us a message before now to pass through our land on their way. At 85, 36.
So he said he sent us messages to pass through their land earlier. We read that earlier. We passed through their land, they will let us go. Go ahead.
And we would not suffer them. Now we will turn upon us with their heavy swords and destroy us. And Moab was distressed on account of the children of Israel, and they were greatly afraid of them. And they counseled together what was to be done to the children of Israel.
So they figured after we killed out these two Amorite kings, And because when we try to pass through their land and told us no, we're gonna come back and then get them. They taught. But not knowing our God said, don't mess with them. They thought we was gonna come back and then get them because we was gonna pass through their land, right? Go ahead.
Verse 37. And the elders of Moab resolved and took one of their men, Balak, and the son of Zippor, the Moabite, and made him king over them at that time. And Balak was a very wise man.
So we see Balak's story, he was made king by the elders of Moab. He was made king. Wasn't that his father was king? No, he was made king. That's his backstory, okay? Go ahead.
Verse 38. And the elders of Moab rose up and sent to the children of Midian to make peace with them. For a great battle and enmity had been in those days between Moab and Midian. From the days of Hadad, the son of Bedad, king of Edom, who made Midian who smote Midian in the field of Moab unto these days.
Right, so there was war against Moab and Midian, right? Go ahead.
Verse 39. And the children of Moab sent to the children of Midian, and they made peace with them. And the elders of Midian came to the land of Moab to make peace in behalf of the children of Midian.
All right, so now they're making peace with each other because they're not even, they're gonna try to go against Israel. Remember, the last thing that Moses was supposed to go do was what?
We're gonna chop with the Midians.
Was to avenge the spirit of Midian. I'm showing you how Midian took the picture dealing with Moab. They were enemies, now they came in together now to go against Israel. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 40. And the elders of Moab counseled with the elders of Midian what to do in order to save their lives from Israel.
All right, 1 second, man. Let me stop sharing this screen. We'll come back to it. Okay. I want to make sure and there's no questions on the YouTube side. Quickly look. All right, Shabbat Shalom, LM. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, brother.
Where did the first reference come from that led you to Jasher to validate the army of Israel takeover of Moab? Where did the first reference is when the Bible talks about Jasher. Yeah, when you read in the book of Joshua chapter 10, verse 11 and 10, I think it is. It's not really in the book of Jasher. That's the first reference for me. You know, so when I saw that, like, I gotta find the book of Jasher because I want to know more about the incident here that happened that's not in the Bible as detail. So that's the first reference, brother, for me. Why the book of Jasher? And they start comparing everything else. I'll go back earlier. Yes, sir. Yeah, go back earlier. I can get the whole thing started out. Just walked out 6 cross. Yes, sir. Yep. That's it. 6 feet. Yep. That's him.
When you say 6 feet across and 30.
Talking about
He walked out, he said something.
he worked it out with the math. That's what he did.
Okay, yeah.
He didn't walk.
Yeah. Okay, I see, work it out with the math. Work it out.
Oh, yeah.
6 feet across and 13 feet length. Yeah, it's a big dude, shake my hand.
Refrigerator is
That's not a refrigerator. That's not what that was. The refrigerator is much more like.
Football player refrigerator.
Nah. He was just wide. He couldn't really move.
He was as wide as he's tall.
Right.
The refrigerator?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. He was as wide as the refrigerator is tall.
Right.
As wide as that. Let's go to Joshua and finish this off in Joshua. Joshua chapter 85.
Did he die in the refrigerator? I don't know. Yeah, a new bowl passed away.
You in verse 38 now.
Okay, verse 38. And the elder of Moab rose up and sent to the children of Midian.
Oh, I'm sorry, we read that already.
Yeah, I think we're in verse 40.
40, come.
Yeah, verse 40. Yeah, at verse 40. And the elders of Moab counseled with the elders of Midian what to do in order to save their lives from Israel.
Go ahead.
Verse 41. And all the children of Moab said to the elders of Midian, Now therefore, the children of Israel lick up all that are around about us, as the ass licks up
The ox.
as the ox licks up the grass of the field. For thus did they do to the two kings of the Amorites, who are stronger than we are.
Go ahead.
Verse 42. And the elders of Midian said to Moab, we have heard that at the time when Sihon, king of the Amorites, fought against you, when he prevailed over you and took your land, he had sent to Beor, the son of Janaeus, and to Balaam, his son, from Mesopotamia, and they came and cursed you. Therefore did the hand of Sihon prevail over you, that he took your hand, took your land.
So they rehearsing, this is how you lost. You lost because he accepted this dude and he cursed y'all, that's how y'all lost. So they're saying, well, okay, go ahead.
Now therefore sent you also to Balaam, his son, for he still remains in his land, and give him his hire, that he may come and curse all the people of whom you are afraid. So the elders of Moab heard this thing, and it pleased him to send to Balaam, the son of Beor.
So we see how you played out how Balaam got sent for. That's the backstory here. Go ahead.
So Balak, the son of Zippor, king of Moab, sent messengers to Balaam, saying, behold, there is a people come from out of Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now therefore come and curse this people for me, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail to fight against them and drive them out. For I heard that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and whom thou cursest is cursed.
Go ahead.
For so the messengers of Balak went to Balaam and brought Balaam to curse the people to fight against Moab.
Okay, you see that. That's how Balaam came in the picture. Go ahead.
And Balaam came to Balak to curse Israel, and the Lord said, Balaam, curse not this people, for it is blessed.
They are blessed. See, when he came, and that's Numbers 22, 23, and 24. Right? We're not gonna read all them chapters there, but you can read it for yourself and see all ins and outs of the story in there. Go ahead.
Verse 49. And Balak urged Balaam day by day to curse Israel. And Balaam hearkened not to Balak on the account of the word of the Most High, which he had spoken to Balaam.
The Lord told him, these people are blessed. You can't curse them. Go ahead.
And when Balak saw that Balaam would not accede to his wish, he rose up and went home. And Balaam also returned to his land, and he went from there to Midian.
See where he went? He went to the Midianites. We're going to see in Numbers that he died when Israel go to avenge Midian, because he went, instead of going home to Mesopotamia, he went back to Midian. He should have went to Mesopotamia, back to his land, but he went back with the Midians, and when we went to go visit the Midian, he got caught up, because he's still trying to go and curse Israel, because he wants money. The Moabites paid him some money, right? He wasn't trying to curse Israel. God said, you can't curse him. Come on. He said, man, curse him, curse him. He said, man, I can't curse him. He said, no. So they went home, took the rest of the money, I guess, whatever he did, and he said, I'm going to go to Moab to get some money out of them. You know what I'm saying? I want some money out of them. Because the text tells you why he died, because he was greedy. Right? Now let's come back to Numbers. Numbers 21, Numbers 22. Let's start at verse 2. I want to read down the verse 6. Numbers 22. I want to get verse 2 down to verse 6.
I'll take it. Call it out one more time.
Numbers chapter 22, verse 2 down to verse 6.
Okay. Numbers chapter 22 and verse 2. And Balak, the son of Zipporah, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was sore afraid of the people because they were many, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak, the son of Zippor, was king of the Moabites at that time.
I wanted to read it to show you how it mirrors the Bible. I'm showing you how it's exact. There's no contradiction here. It's for those who's against Jasher. You don't know what you're talking about. You need to go read it again. Go ahead.
Verse 5. He sent messengers thereof unto Balaam, the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people.
Go ahead.
To call him, saying, behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me.
Right? Same thing was said in Jasher in the last verse.
Verse 6. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and he whom thou cursest is cursed.
Right. So again, I want to just mirror that.
That's a mirror right there.
Mirror right there. We know what the rest of that said. Now when it comes to Numbers 25. Now we're going to show that. Now we're going to show that the Moabites are still in the land. Numbers 25 and 1 says this. Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 25 from the top. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab.
Stop. Israel abode in Shittim. Let me pull the map out. Okay. Let me share my screen. Look at the map.
This is like the Moabites was always right next to us. Like it was our shadows.
Let me get to the
Backup dancers or something.
That's not-
nightmare.
that's not right.
The Moabites are backup dancers.
That's what I want to show. All right, this is the map here. All right. Israel abode here in Shittim. This is Shittim right here. Shittim is in the plains of Moab. Israel is in Shittim. Let me pull it in the Bible, just in case. The Bible knows what this map says. Let me get Numbers 33 and verse 49. Numbers 33, and let me get verse 49.
Chapter 33 and what verse?
49.
Numbers chapter 33, verse 49, and it reads, and they pitched by Jordan from Beth Jeshama even unto Abel Shittim in the plains of Moab.
In the plains of Moab, right here, see that? Plains of Moab, Abel Shittim. You see Abel Shittim right there? Abel Shittim, but in Numbers 25, they just call it Shittim. But it's Abel Shittim. Right? Israel is here, and here Numbers 25 says that they committed whoredom with the daughters of Moab. That means Moabites were still where?
In the land.
In the land, still for them to commit whoredom with them. This is after we killed out two of the kings, Sihon and Og. They're gone. Right? Moab come to curse us with Balaam. That didn't work. So we were dwelling in the plains of Moab, and this is where this takes place to show you that it was still Moabites in the land. So when they claiming about there's no Moabites in the land, that Ruth cannot be an Israelite, this verse is proving them wrong. That's I went through chronology to show you the timeline. This is where we are. Right? And to make it even worse, Ruth takes place at this time. Ruth is taking place at this time. The time frame fits perfectly. Ruth takes place in the beginning of Judges. Israel goes across over the side and they go take most of the land, and Joshua dies. Right. Well, then you have Ruth right there. Perfectly show you that she's still in the land. That's why when Naomi and her two sons went over there to the plains of Moab, there were still Moabites in the land for her two sons to marry. They married two Moabite women who were still in the land, so they never got out of the land completely. They were still there.
Now I understand the conversation a little better too.
They would have been in captivity under the Reubenites. Right. The Reubenites did not wipe them out, because then number 25 would make no sense. They shouldn't be here, number 25. They should have been dead before Balaam came to curse them. But number 25 said they're still here. Okay.
So what was Balaam?
Huh?
What nationality was Balaam?
Syrian.
Okay.
He's from Mesopotamia.
Okay, that's what he said.
But he's greedy for money. It says this. Can we get it? Let me show you about Balaam real quick. Jude. I think it's verse 6. Okay. Jude verse 6 tells us about this guy. Jude right before Revelation.
I got it. Which everybody.
Right. You get the right verse. You get all the Bible and get it. We can be about point. Jude verse 11. Yep.
Jude verse 11. Woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain and ran greedily after the heir of Balaam for reward, and perisheth it in the gainsaying of Korah.
Right. So they ran greedily after the era of Balaam for what? Reward. What's reward? Money.
Money.
That's
Right.
money.
Right.
He ran greedily after reward, and they end up dead. Right? He cursed people, they paid him big money. Sihon paid him big money, we read in Jasher. He cursed Moab, now they took their land. And then Moab paid him some money, but he couldn't curse them. Then he went to the Midianites to get some more money because he wanted reward. He loved money. He was greedy. And he ended up dead according to the book of Jasher. All right? Let's go back to the book of Numbers 25, and let's get verse 1 and 2 again.
Judges. Judges.
No, number 25.
1 and 2, right?
Yes, sir.
Numbers chapter 25 from the top. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. And they called the people unto the sacrifice of their gods, and the people did eat and bow down to their God.
All right. Backstory again. So we're gonna find out what the Moabites actually did to them, how they called them to do this. Jasher 85. And let me get verse 52. You're gonna read verse 52 down to verse 63. Jasher chapter 85, verse 52 down to verse 63. This is how they got the Israelites to do this.
I got it.
No, start at verse 51. Joshua chapter 85, verse 51. You're gonna read down to verse 63. Go ahead.
Okay. Joshua chapter 85, verse 51. And it reads, and the children of Israel journeyed from the plain of Moab and pitched by Jordan from Beth Jamesh even unto Abel Shittim at the end of the plains of Moab.
Right, Abel Shittim. So, well, they were in the plains of Moab. Like it says in Numbers 25. Go ahead.
Verse 52. And when the children of Israel abode in the plain of Shittim, they began to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab.
Go ahead.
Verse 53. And the children of Israel approached Moab, and the children of Moab pitched their tents opposite to the camp of the children of Israel.
We getting this, so now it don't sound like they're in captivity. They pitched their tent opposite to the children of Israel. That's what they did. Go ahead.
Verse 54. And the children of Moab were afraid of the children of Israel. And the children of Moab took all the daughters of their wives of beautiful aspect and comely appearance, and dressed them in gold and silver and costly garments.
See that? They dress up their daughters, their wives, made them look real nice. Talked about that earlier. Is that our brothers keep messing with these other nations? They did. Dress them up, make them look all nice. Okay, dress them up. Go ahead.
Verse 55. And the children of Moab seated these women at the door of their tents, in order that the children of Israel might see them and turn to them and not fight against Moab.
Yeah. Put it right in the front door.
Oh, shut up.
Cold. Cold setup. Cold setup for real. Go ahead.
Verse 57. And to come to pass, and it came to pass that when a Hebrew came to the door of the tent of Moab and saw a daughter of Moab and desired her in his heart and spoke with her at the door of the tent that which he desired, whilst they were speaking together, the men of the tent would come out and speak to the Hebrew like unto these words.
Go ahead.
Surely you know that we are brethren.
Man, you know we brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
We are all descendants of Lot. And the descendants of Abraham, his brother.
Man, you see that, man? We family, brother. Go ahead.
Wherefore then will you not remain with us, and wherefore you will not eat our bread or our sacrifice.
Go ahead.
And our sacrifice, yeah. And when the children of Moab had thus overwhelmed them with their speeches and enticed them with their flattering words, they seated him in the tent and cooked and sacrificed for him. And he ate of their sacrifices and of their bread.
Yeah, fair, see that? Fair speeches, they got him with the fair speeches and the flattering words, all right? And seated him down, and he cooked for him, right? All with some fried chicken, not fried. Chinese food and all Chinese food.
Orange chicken, brothers, orange chicken.
Get to them. All right, go ahead.
Verse 60. Then they gave him wine, and he drank, became intoxicated. And they placed him before, and they placed before him a beautiful damsel, and he did with her as he liked, for he knew not what he was doing, and he had drunk plentifully of wine.
Right. So that's you see how they get him now? Women and wine. Right? Beautiful young woman and some wine and some flattering word. Got him. Got him. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Verse 61. Thus did the children of Moab to Israel in the place, and the plain of Shittim, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel on account of this matter. And he sent a pestilence among them, and there died the Israelites 24,000 men.
Yes, sir.
Man, this kind of reminds me of the Passport Brothers. You heard about this?
Nah.
These brothers are getting on planes to go overseas.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I've heard about that. Jason Will, I talked about that.
Guess who they mostly go see?
Moabite women, like.
Wow. Go ahead.
Oh, it's verse 62.
Now,
Now there was a man of the children of Simeon whose name was Zimri, the son of Salum, who connected himself with the Midianite Cosbi, the daughter of Zur, king of Midian, in the sight of all the children of Israel.
Go ahead.
And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw this wicked thing which Zimri had done. And he took a spear and rose up and went after them and pierced them both and slew them, and pestilence ceased from the children of Israel.
All right, we got that. Let's go to the book of Numbers now. So that's the backstory. So that's how Midian got involved. Midian got involved. So this guy, let's read it in the Bible now. To show you what Joshua is saying, the Bible is saying.
And the Medians, Moses had a baby by one of them.
Yeah, right. Numbers chapter 25, man. And let's get verse 6.
Come. Numbers chapter 25, verse 6.
Start at verse 5.
Numbers chapter 25, verse 5, and then read. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel,
Those would be the Levites. Go ahead.
slay ye everyone his men that were joined unto Baal Peor.
Baal Peor.
Baal Peor.
Those are the men who that we just did, got enticed and did all that stuff. Moses had to slay all these dudes, and we read it was 24,000, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
6. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the
So
congregation.
they all over there crying, and this guy is just still in the violation. He brought this Midianitish woman right in front of him, in front of Moses and all of them, like, and yeah, he okay. You know, like he didn't even go over there with the tent where they was. He bringing her back to the congregation where we are, in front of Moses and other people crying, bringing her, violating the law right in front of us. This Simeonite, we read he's a Simeonite. We read about it in the book of Joshua. Yes, sir.
It kind of remind me of the movie. It was a mafia movie where he like, what are you doing in here with that meat coat? Get out of here! That new Cadillac. Y'all remember that? I don't remember that movie.
I don't know what's the name of the movie.
The Goodfellas.
I remember.
Y'all remember the Goodfellas where he came in with the meat coat? He like, nah, get up out of here, man. And had that little new Cadillac and
Well, this is worse than that. You know what I'm saying? They crying in front of the Lord. Of what's going on? We just killed 24,000 of our people. We crying because they're tripping. And this guy right here is still in the transgression. He's going up to bring her back to the congregation.
oh,
You know, like at least you can keep her way over there, and he can bring her back. It's tripping.
throwing it in the face. Huh?
Right.
Like, just a reminder, y'all.
Go ahead.
Slaughterhouse.
Go ahead. Let's read it.
Okay. I'm at 6.
Verse 7.
7. Shabbat. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it, he rose up from amongst the congregation and took a javelin in his hand, and he went after the man of Israel unto the tent and thrust both of them through the man of Israel, and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of
So
Israel.
he stabbed him through their belly. He was playing both of them. They took that javelin. Both of them had it. I want you to jump down to verse 14, Emmanuel. I mean, sorry, not
14. Numbers chapter 25, verse 14. And they read, Now the name of the Israelites that was slain, even that was slain with the Midianitish woman was Zimrod, the son of Saul, the son of what's that, Salem? Salu, a prince of the chief house amongst the Simeonites.
I accepted what Jasper said. So we see here that he was a prince. He was of the chief house of the Simeonites. Okay, go ahead.
15. And the name of the Midianitish woman that was slain was Cosby, the daughter of Zer. He was head over a people and a chief house of Midian.
Go ahead.
16. And the Lord spake upon Moses, saying, vex the Midianites and smite them. 18. For they vex you with their wiles, wherewith they have beguiled you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cosby, the daughter of the prince of Midian, their sister, which was slain in the days of the plague for Peor's sake.
Right. So we see right here, it was not only Moabite women that were doing it, was also Midianite women too that was also there. So Moab and Midian was both putting their daughters up there to have Israel to go against God, with both of them. And God said to go vex the Midianites. Okay, so they're the one that's conjured up this stuff to go against us, right? And the last thing we're going to come back down here is Numbers 31, where God went to fulfill what God told Moses there in Numbers 25, verse 18. Then we're going to jump to verse 9, verse 8, and then that should be it. Numbers 31, verse 1.
So they was telling us like, y'all got beguiled and pimped.
Of course. Go ahead.
Numbers chapter 31 from the top. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, avenge the children of Israel, the Midianites, afterwards shalt thou be gathered unto thy people.
Right. So we know why he told to avenge is what they did. End up 24,000 of our men died because of that. Right? Go ahead.
And Moses spoke unto the people, saying, arm some of yourselves unto the war, and let them go against the Midianites and avenge the Lord of Midian.
Right. Now we're gonna jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. And they slew the kings of Midian beside the rest of them that were slain, namely Eli and Rechem and Zer.
Zer, remember, that was that woman's father, right? Zer, he died too. Go ahead.
And Hur and Reba, 5 kings of Midian. Balaam, also the son of Beor, they slew with swords. With a sword.
Because remember, he went back to Midian, so let's go back to his land, Mesopotamia. He goes to Midian, try to get more money. When we go avenge us of Midian, he ended up getting slain by us. Okay. When we was in there. Okay. So with that, we can stop there. We do have any questions? That's enough. Let me stop the screen. This should show you that it's clearly Ruth is a Moabite, but it was still Moabite in the land to the point where they beguiled us. You can check the YouTube. Check the YouTube. Yeah. All right. We'll check the YouTube right here. Yeah, we have it. I know Gabar, you said you had a question. I think you were done with that. Gabar, you got scripture now. Okay. Where do you?
Nah, not really any. I did have a question, but you had answered it earlier. Whenever you was you had answered it like right earlier without even having to ask it. So, nah, I really don't have any questions. I mean, I didn't know about that detail in Jasher about the Moabite still being in the land. So, it definitely makes it more plausible in terms of her being as far as Ruth being a Moabite, as far as her being like more so like a spoil of war, in a sense. So that's definitely something that I did not see before. And that's that's very interesting. Also too, I guess now that's why oh yeah, I remember the question I was gonna ask you, but before then, no, that's also why I guess the whole situation with why she's like in one place a person may be called a daughter of Moab, but then in another place they'll be called like a woman of Moab because of I guess like one is dealing with I guess one is maybe dealing with the being a literal descendant while the other one is dealing with of like the group of people that were captive or something. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at that little definition and stuff to see what that difference is. But that may be the reason why. And then what I was going to ask you was the situation in Judges 3 with King Eglon, the king of Moab. It says that he had the children of Israel in captivity for 18 years. So the situation with King Eglon, I was gonna ask, would that be the reason why you had Moabites back over in that region? Because it was during that 18-year period.
No. I mean, the Moabites never left that land. Either it was there in captivity, or after we took the land from them, they wasn't in captivity under us, as we read in Numbers 25, where they was able to be godless. If they was in captivity under us, they wouldn't be able to do that. So it seemed that after we took the Amorites out, we gave them their freedom and allowed them to stay in the land, and we lived with them.
So what's the situation with Judges 3 then?
Judges, let's read it.
Yeah, it's always good to go read it. Like people like to wanna say something. Nothing better than to go back and read it, because what it does, it refreshes your memory in case you like forgot something, because you might think you remember it correctly, and you on most times you don't.
Yeah, right.
So always go back to better go back and read it. You know what I'm saying? It's a good habit to go back and always read it.
Starting at verse 12.
Okay, before you do it, I just want to read, earlier up in the chapter, we can establish the background. But it's the, you know what I'm saying? Start at verse 1. Again, so remember, the Ruth takes place before when we're reading it. Okay. This is after the book of Ruth taking place. We're gonna read it right here, chapter 3, verse 1. Go ahead.
Judges chapter 3 from the top. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan.
So they didn't know the wars. So this is after the wars of Canaan.
Right, after the wars of Canaan, right.
After the wars of them on the other side when they were heading over there. This
Right.
is all after that. They didn't know nothing about these wars. So all the men that was warring and all of that, they done all died out.
Right.
These people don't know nothing about no war.
Right.
None of them.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Only that generation of the children of Israel might know to teach them war.
Oh, you read.
Go ahead.
At the least, such as before knew nothing thereof.
Knew absolutely nothing about no war. This is at least a generation after the war generation that was fighting. Joshua gone, all them troops are dead. The elders that outlived Joshua, they all dead. This is a new generation. Go ahead.
Namely, 5 lords of the Philistines and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians and the Hivites that dwell in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Bel Hermon unto the entering of Hamath.
Right. So I'm just saying this to read to you that even though we were told to go on the other side of Canaan, that's on the west side, right, to kill out all of those Canaanites over there, we wasn't doing that. right? So that we would show you who was on the east side. If there was any Gentile over here, we definitely wasn't killing them out either. We were living with them. You know what I'm saying? The one we supposed to kill on the east side, we didn't kill them. But the ones on the west side, we ain't supposed to even touch Moab, so we know they were still living amongst us still at this time, but this is part into the future where these generations didn't know nothing about no war, right? Go ahead.
And they were to prove Israel by them to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses.
Go ahead.
And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, Hittites, and Amorites, and Perizzites, and Hippites, and Jebusites.
Okay, I want to start it. So, well, no, go ahead, read up.
And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods.
So I want to show you that it was mixing with the other nation, right? There was ones on that side. It was mixing on the ones on that side, it was mixing on the ones on this side, so it's more than plausible, right? That it was mixing with Ruth and Moabite, because it was mixing before. We see the history of it here. I just want to get that background so we can see before we get down to Eglon. Because the only reason why Eglon can do this to Israel, because for one, these Israelites don't know about no war. Right? They don't know about no war, they're not warriors, they're not about no warriors at all.
Yeah.
That's right. Then we're gonna get to the point. He said he wanted to start at verse 12, you said, Gabar? Said verse 12?
Khan, I believe that's where it starts at.
All right, go ahead, verse 12.
Verse 12. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord.
If one of the evils would be mixing with them. Go ahead.
13. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalekite and children of Ammon, and went and smote Israel and possessed the city of palm trees.
Go ahead.
So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years.
All right. So we see that. So this is after the situation. It's that situation with Ruth, because here I want you to read Ruth chapter 1 verse 1.
Okay. Hey, bro, can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
So you know that at church I went to, some of them are like Chinese or whatever, right? And I know, you know what I'm saying, I was doing research before, that if you do research, I think it's called the caffeine Chinese Jews or whatever, right? Some of them had Torah over there for over 1,000 years, right? It's still communities over there where they practice Torah, they don't eat pork, and like they do the whole thing, keep Sabbath, everything. But I was explaining to the brothers that some of this, I didn't know this particular history bringing out right now, but I knew Israel had went through there already. You see what I'm saying? And that's how we know. I mean, that's how you can explain how they get the Torah. But what the people teach them is that the white people, the Ashkenazi Jews, taught them that. But nah, it was already in the land because we were there teaching them, or however the situation went. You know what I mean? But they have a Torah centers over there for over 1,000 years. But you know, the Romans went over there and done their thing with the Moabites, whatever. But nah, I'm just saying out to say this is like this is more information. Like this explains why they have synagogues over there for over 1,000 years.
Con.
It's called the caffeine Jews.
Yes, sir.
Start with a K, like K.
But I want you to have amazing facts, but you got some of that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do we have it in Ruth chapter 1 verse 1?
I got it.
Go ahead.
Ruth chapter 1 verse 1, it reads, "Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled."
Okay, that's all we needed. So it took place in there when the judges ruled. By the time we get to Eglon, there's one judge. They're gonna do one judge at this time, right? And I want to read it because we should have just read down in chapter 3, and it talks about the judge. Judges chapter 3, and I think we need to read at verse 10, which will tell you a single judge. Rules take place when judges rule. Later on, Judge chapter 3 and on, it's only a single. They all came to a singular judge. But prior to the beginning of the book of Judges, they were judges. More than one of them. I'm gonna show you two.
You want to Judges,
Chapter 3,
uh-huh.
and let's get verse 8.
Judges chapter 3 and verse 8. And it reads, therefore the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hands of Cushan, Rish, Athaim, king of Mesopotamia, and the children of Israel served Cushan, Rish, Athaim 8 years.
Okay, so we have an 8-year captivity year.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
So Israel was not in captivity in the time of Ruth. Was not in captivity. The judges ruled, it said.
Right.
So if we was in captivity for 8 years, the judges wouldn't be ruling. Who would be ruling?
Whoever.
Cushan would be ruling. All right, go ahead.
Verse 9. And when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Khalid's younger brother. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel and went out to war. And the Lord delivered Cushan, Rashin, Daim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand, and his hands prevailed against Cushan, Rashin, Daim. And the land had rest 40 years, and Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died.
So that's 40 years plus 8 in captivity, 48 years. So it's a long time.
Right.
So then we go over into the Moabite in his captivity with the nation of Israel. So Aglan comes way after the book of Ruth takes place. It's way after. It's because again, Ruth, how we know that? Because Ruth, the man that marries Ruth, Obed, his mother is Rahab, which we read in Joshua chapter 2, which he talked about how the people are scared of Israel. That's his mother. So she is in the beginning of Joshua. So obviously she had Joshua by Solomon when Israel crossed, taking the land. That's when he's born, right? So he's now grown at the end of Joshua. So Ruth takes place smack dead in the beginning, at the end of Joshua, right in the beginning of Judges, right? That's where it takes place according to the timeline of the generation. You see here that with Othniel, he's the next generation over, because Caleb's in the generation of Boaz. Boaz and Caleb's in the same generation, but this guy is Caleb's younger brother. He's in the next generation, right? Then he judged Israel, it says, for 40 years. Then after his generation, you get into the Moabite captivity. So again, that shows you that Ruth will take place before this Moabite captivity, according to the genealogy.
Right, before Judges chapter 3.
Judges chapter 3. That's correct. Will take place. I know that answers your question, Gabar.
So Joshua is still alive when Ruth is taking place.
You said, is Joshua alive, you said?
Yeah, because Joshua, he doesn't die until Judges chapter 2. So is he alive when Ruth is taking place?
No, Ruth taking place during the elder that succeeded Joshua. Let me get that in the book of Joshua, Judges, where does it say that at? Let me get it.
Yeah, in Judges 2, I know that's when Joshua dies. So
it talks about the man that succeeded him. That's when it takes place. Let me get it right quick. I'll show it to you. Let's get Judges chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 6.
Judges chapter 2 and verse 6. And when Joshua had let the people go, the children of Israel went every man unto his inheritance to possess the land.
Go ahead.
And the people served the Lord all the day of Joshua.
All the days of Joshua, they served the Lord. Right. Be clear. Go ahead.
And all the days of the elders that outlived Joshua.
Right. And the elder that outlived Joshua, this is the time when Ruth takes place. The elder that outlived Joshua, they served the Lord even in these men times. That's why I said when you read Ruth, they ain't out in captivity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
These elders is the time that these under, because that's when the judges, these elders would be the judges that Ruth 1 and 1 talks about. When the judges rule, these elders.
Right. Got it.
Were the judges. That outlived Joshua.
So in between
The
Joshua.
brother Othel, I think one of the brother named Othel or something like that.
Go ahead.
Who has seen all the great works of the Lord that he did for Israel.
Right. So that's when it takes place.
Got it. Okay.
In these elders that outlived Joshua's time is when Ruth would take place. Gabar, did that answer your question, brother?
Con. I'm gonna go back and look it up some more too.
Okay. All right, do you have any other questions? All right, can we get Ruth chapter 2, verse 10, 11?
Yes, sir.
Ruth chapter 2, verse 10, verse 11.
I got it. Let me know if you guys there. Chapter 2, Ruth chapter 2, starting in verse 10. And it reads, Then she fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground and said unto him, Why have I found grace in thy eyes? And now shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger.
She's a stranger, okay? And occur. Where you take knowledge of me, seeing that I'm a stranger. So some have argued and said that this can also refer to an Israelite. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
A stranger. Right.
Definitely.
Which is kind of weird
Living as
that
a Gentile.
you would call another Israelite, another Moabite, a woman, stranger, but we will still. Remember, we know who each other is. We didn't lost our identity at all at this time. We all know who Israelites is.
Right.
We know, okay.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 11, and Boaz answered and said unto her, It hath full been shown to me,
It's been fully showed him. Go ahead.
all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thy husband, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother.
Stop. You left your father and your mother. Now, according to Torah, you can't do that.
Right, you can't.
You can leave your father and your mother
Right.
because your father is the one that marries you off.
Right.
If her mother and her father are still alive, what happens in the Torah is that let's read it. Don't say I'm making this stuff up because I don't make stuff. Everything I'm saying to you, I read it in this Torah.
Now I understand.
If she left her mother and her father, the text tells you, Leviticus, the 20th chapter, it tells you that when a woman is married and her husband dies, she goes back to her father's house. What the Torah says.
Yes.
She's leaving her mother and her father. Leviticus, the 20th chapter. Let me read it so we can say this guy making stuff up. Nothing.
Hey, boy, and Amayan, I think this make it more a little concrete. Judges 2:8, like what you were just saying earlier.
About
Would be good.
what was I saying earlier, Sever Smith?
About the judges, him taking places after the judges. It kind of confirmed it. They confirmed it. Judges 2:8.
Judges 2:8. Can we get that? Come. Like I didn't read. I didn't read verse 7. I should have read over.
I think we read verse 8.
I think we stopped at verse 7. We need to read verse 8. Anyway, let's read what the brother called out right quick. While I find this thing here. Yeah, let's get Judges chapter 2, verse 8 as the brother We're saying,
Judges chapter 2 and verse 8.
go ahead.
And it reads, and Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died being 110 years old.
What happened?
So keep going.
That's 2 and 8.
Come,
Judges?
Judges chapter 2 and 8. Eyes are.
that's what I read. And Joshua, the son of Nun, that's not it?
And Joshua, the son of Nun,
Okay.
the servant of the Lord died.
Yeah, no, that's it. He right, but now I want you to jump to verse 16.
Oh, okay. Come. Verse 16. And it reads, nevertheless, the Lord raised up judges which delivered them out of the hands of those that spoiled them.
So now when you go to that Ruth 1:1, you'll see this is the time when the judges ruled. So we know he ruled. We now we can put it together and say how, okay, Joshua was already dead, then judges came up, and that's when you come to the time of Ruth.
Right, right.
Got you.
Okay. Yeah, definitely, yeah, that's better.
I didn't mean to go around the circle, but I didn't just.
No, come.
Well, I mean, we got there, man. That's the most important thing, man. As long as we get to the destination, brother.
Leviticus 22, verse 13.
22. Okay.
Leviticus 22, verse 13. I got it marked right here. Leviticus 22. Leviticus 22, let's get verse 12 and 13.
Come, I'll take you.
Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 22 and verse 12. The priest's daughter also,
And if the priest's daughter.
and if the priest's daughter also being married unto a stranger, she may not eat of the offering of the holy things.
So if a priest's daughter is married to someone that's not an Israelite, he can't eat of the offerings at all. Go ahead.
Come, 13. But if the priest's daughter be a widow or divorced and have no child and is returned unto her father's house as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's meat, but there shall no stranger eat thereof.
Right, so they're just talking about a Levite woman's daughter, but that would be consistent for every woman's daughter that when your husband dies,
Right.
and you return back to your father's house. This is how it goes, right? Because she must be under the tutelage of a man. So if go back to Ruth chapter 2, verse 11, if she left her father and the mother like that, can't be no Israelite, she's violating Torah.
Okay, I'll read it. Ruth chapter 2 and verse 11. And Boaz answered and said unto her, it hath fully been shown to me all that thou hast done unto thy mother and to thy mother-in-law since the death of thy husband, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother in the land of thy nativity.
And then I have thy nativity, which would be where we are. Originally, again, that land was originally belonged to Moabite that we was in, right? Go ahead.
And art come unto a people which thou knowest not heretofore.
Right, so you came to people that you didn't know yesterday. I'm pull up heretofore. Heretofore says a people that she did not know before or yesterday. She cannot be an Israelite talking about she came to Israel. She don't know Israelite yesterday. It made no sense.
Con.
She would know Israelites.
Oh, that's thorough.
How do you not know your own people?
And she's saying she a stranger.
I'm gonna pull it up and show you what the definition is of that word. So we can be clear that I'm not making it up. There's no way into a people that she didn't know before. If she's an Israelite, it made no sense. Here we go. Coming up right now. I'm going to show that heretofore. So that's Ruth 2:11, correct?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna pull this up and I'm gonna share my screen. You can see exactly what that word means. 2:11.
standing on self-worth.
Let me come back and share my screen right here. We lost the club there.
Oh, wow.
All right.
The Black 100 kicked us out.
Black 100, what?
Kicked us
So
out.
we get in Luke chapter 2, verse 11. You came to a people, that's right here, right? That would be Israel. She came to Israelite, and she knew it. This is not hitherto for. We'll click on it. It's coming up right now. There we go with this nonsense. Saying that word, knowing the word to come up. It's coming up right now. I'm spinning. Hitherto for us, right here, right? Before that time, hitherto for us, of late, of old, these days, past, yesterday, day before yesterday, recently, formerly. People she didn't know formerly, she didn't know recently, she didn't know day before yesterday, yesterday past. How can she be an Israelite and be said of her? You don't know her own people yesterday. Or recently or formerly. It wouldn't make no sense. This verse solidifies. That's why I tell people you argue with the Hebrew text when you're saying that she is an Israelite. This text clearly saying that she couldn't have been one. All right, stop sharing that. Well, I think that's it, man. I mean, I'll get the timeline. We got the two that fill in the land, and that verse right here is just gonna solidify it down. But I understand, brother. Like I said, another reason why is that they caught up in Ruth being a Gentile in Christ's lineage. So they said there's no way that there's a Gentile, and they think that Ruth is David's grandmother. Because they think that Boaz had Obed and Obed had Jesse and Jesse had David, which is wrong, not knowing that there is a 405-year gap between them both.
Right.
Do the lineage and you see for yourself that there's a 400 and something year gap in between. Because if Ruth takes place in the beginning of Judges, Paul said Judges is 450 years. Yeah. Before you even get to David. Okay. So that's the big gap that's there in between that, and that lineage is unrecorded because the lineage is mixed. It's a Mamzer lineage.
And purge out the mixed blood.
It's a Mamzer count. It's a Mamzer lineage.
It took them that long to get rid
Took them
of
that long to purge it out. Yeah. But the reason why it took so long is because they'll be reading Israel is just being rebellious. In Judges, you'll see them. They a judge come save them, he died, they do it again. A judge save him, he died, they do it again. And they just tell you they keep doing it again and doing it again.
And Samson was the worst judge.
Another one. So it took that long to get that blood should have been purged out to about 3 or 4 generations. That blood should have been came all the way back into Israel at the marry back in. Should take 400 and something years for it to be done. Because a generation, they calculate a generation is about 25 years.
So Dan was like the judges then?
Huh?
Was Dan the judges?
In Judges, no.
No, they weren't.
No, I don't worship for the judges.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Huh.
Hey, so whenever they went into the land, whenever Sihon was in the land and they had to wipe them all out. I mean, I know it was specifically stating to wipe out the Amorites. But the question I have is, if we're reading in Deuteronomy about the Moabites can't even come into the 10th generation, why would they then take them as spoils of war? If they can't even come into the congregation? Like, were in the midst of them taking them out, were they being wicked and keeping them as spoils of war or something like?
Yeah, but remember that's their land, right? We agree that that's their land that was in, right?
Right.
Okay, so you actually taking land that don't belong to you, but you got it by default because the Shions took it from the Moabites, right?
Right.
All that land on that east side wasn't supposed to be Israelite land. We go to the land of Canaan, the Lord said. Right. On the west side. Right. We got it by default because of what Shihan and them did, and God wanted them people, killed out. That's the reason why I showed in Numbers 25, the Moabite was still in the land, and as we read there in the book of Joshua 2 as well, they tricked them with their women. So what Israel did, when Israel took the land, Israel living side by side with them. Israel ain't saying, Israel, listen, there wasn't even any captivity to Israel. Israel had them side by side as free people to do what they wanted to do. That's the reason why they were able to trick them with their wiles in the plains of Moab, where there wasn't shittim. If I have you in captivity, how can you do that to me? You can do that to me. If you'd have tried that to me, I'd have put you to death. Remember, the man came out and said, man, we're brothers, right? We come from Lot, Abraham, enticing words and all that. In captivity, you couldn't say that to me in captivity?
Right.
Unless you was free?
Right.
I guess.
I mean, not only that, they set up tents next to him.
Oh, and then you know what? Because I'm just thinking about like whenever they were, because even below the Arnon River, the children, the Most High told the children of Israel to not even go through that route because that was promised to them. So that's kind of giving you insight with the Most High. He didn't really have no plans to get rid of them. He never really had any plans to get rid of them because if that was the case, he would have had them go through the Moabite territory and actually had them wiped out. He could have just did that. So. I mean, it is definitely kind of like, okay, when they get above the Arnon River, you got some Moabites that are held captive by King Sihon and the Amorites. They go and wipe out the Amorites and then just let the Moabites live. Basically.
What they did. Yes, Tony.
So that's a question, who is to the Ish people? Who's supposed to be the Edomites to them?
Oh, then they probably started worshiping their gods while they was there.
Yes.
They started worshiping their gods when they got in the land.
God.
They started worshiping their gods, and that's how Eglon gets okay. Because that's usually because from what I've seen with the mixing, it usually comes along with idol worship. They're not just taking the women just because they look good. They usually want to worship their gods also.
Yes, this is the god Titiki.
You know, I was reading in King Solomon where the daughters of Zion was clouding each other like we not attractive or on how black they was.
So then Ruth kind of falls under the situation with Leviticus 25 then.
As far as what?
Possession. How the heathens, how when you possess the heathen, how they don't like they did that does transfer from down through the lineage and stuff as far as like them being that would still have to mean that like she was some type of bondservant then.
How was that? How would she be a bondservant?
I mean, that not only if that would be the only way Leviticus 25 would apply, because she would have to be like some type of bondservant, because that's what Leviticus 25 is saying, is that those are like bondservants. You can buy those of the heathen. So she would have had to been a bondservant in order for that to apply. So if they weren't in, so that's what I'm asking, like Ruth. No, because Ruth was somebody.
Wife is Boaz's wife.
Right, but was she like a bondservant though? Before that.
No, she married Milan. She
was just a heathen wife, basically.
Not just a heathen wife, she was an attractive heathen wife. You know what we just
and they had money too. Ruth had money before they came into that situation with Naomi.
Yeah, he's kind of like Samson. Samson, with mom telling him, man, he's like, woman, like, no, I want that Canaanite woman over there because she's attractive. Milan went over there and saw that Ruth attractive Moabite woman.
Yo, right? They probably like, shoot, we used to seeing our Israelite women, man. Ooh, man, she exotic. Ooh, that's different. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, so you say she exotic. He's seen them eyes.
Wait, so then that means that hold on. So then that means that Ruth, because you got Boaz, but then Ruth had a husband previously that died. So that means that you realize what that means? That means that they was passing around in a roundabout way. They was kind of like passing around heathen women. I'm like, what the heck? In a roundabout way.
Yeah, but I'm saying the reason why Ruth wanted to stay is because of how Naomi treated her when she was with her son, Milan.
Okay.
She treated her real good. That's why she said, I'm gonna go with you to your people and to go to your gods, is because of how Naomi treated her. Her mother-in-law treated her real good.
Right.
That when her husband died, she wanted to leave because she told him to go back to your people.
Right.
Right? Go back to your people and your gods and your stuff. And she's like, no, I'm gonna go with you.
Because Naomi's sister, I mean Ruth's sister went back.
Huh.
She did.
Right.
Back to her people and her God. But maybe her husband didn't treat her that good. But that's how it is sometimes. You can see the difference, man. Sometimes that's how it happens, man. You get attached to that woman, man. If your mother-in-law treats you good and the husband treats you good, you get attached to that.
So
Clearly,
my question is,
Ruth didn't know about the
is
Most
any
High.
part of this, is any part of this lawful? That's what I'm trying to get to. As far as them dealing with these Moabite women, was this from Ruth's first husband to Boaz? Was this lawful?
Not lawful. Not lawful at all. It ain't lawful because, but we see that her husband, his mother and father union was not lawful. Boaz's mother is Rahab. She's a Canaanite, and his father is Solomon. That's unlawful.
Yes.
That's unlawful marriage there. So we see a pattern maybe before we get to that there's unlawful stuff going on with these other women. From different nations. So that ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying?
And I always thought Boaz had a certain like weakness, not weakness, but he had some mercy because he understood how they probably treated his mother in Israel, knowing that she was an outsider. So when he seen her, he probably had like, yo, I know how they dealt with my mother. So yo, come on. You know what I mean? I always thought like that.
That would make sense. That makes sense right there.
So what, similar to what you read about concerning Jephthah in Judges 11, because he was wasn't he like a manager too?
No, he was the son of a concubine.
Right, but that concubine wasn't an Israelite, was she?
I think she was. But we know that Ruth, that Rahab, she's a Canaanite. She clearly isn't an Israelite. I mean, and then his mother's a harlot. They term as a harlot. So Boaz's mother's a harlot. He would definitely look down upon him because of his mother.
Mm-hmm.
So he would understand, you know what I'm saying? She's a harlot. I am from another nation. But I think the reason why she even was married to an Israelite is because I think one of those two spies that she hid, because she saved their lives, right? She hid the two spies. I think one of those two spies was Salmon, her husband. One of them two men was her husband. Wow. And he kind of liked it. She saved him alive, and he decided for that reason to marry her. Okay. Her being a harlot, she was definitely attractive. She wouldn't, it doesn't work for you, ugly harlot.
Right.
Doesn't work for you. You gotta be attractive. She was a bad Canaanite, looking good.
Oh no, she wasn't
like a Kim K. She gotta be like a Kim K or something. Let me stop.
God, he was a bad one. And plus, he saved your life. You might, oh man, she's bad, saved my life too. Maybe that's what I need to marry right there. Go ahead, Tony.
I want to know who the Ish people consider the Edomites. So they claim to be Jews. Who's their version of Edomite?
They would say Edomites, there's no more Edomites. That's what I know Edomites be saying. When you read Obadiah, they're like, man, Edomite died out. There ain't no more Edomites no more.
Wow.
Shut the hell up. This is what they say. Yeah, they say ain't no more Edomites. Not listening to them. Like, well, who this? Oh man, they all died out. They died out back then, you know what I'm saying? They don't Edomites. Yeah, of course
It's us.
No, that's wrong because we read about Edomites in Daniel in the time of the Antichrist, which is our future. So there is no way that there are no Edomites. They still talk about it in our future. But they have to say that because they know that's them.
Wasn't Herod an Edomite?
So
what are they talking about? That's way in Christ time. That's crazy.
They don't want to be identified with those people because it matches them. So why would I consider they're still around? That would be me. But if I say they're not around, then it can't be me no more. I'm somebody else.
And there's no end to none of the genealogy, so that everybody's still here on earth.
Yeah, Esau's still here.
So the first Herod, the one that tried to get Christ the first time, he was an Edomite too, right?
Definitely.
Then the second one was an
His
Edom-
sons.
son was an Edom.
All of it.
Because they
Him,
tried-
them Herods, Philip, there's Philip, and there's another one. And then there is Agrippa, Edomite, Agrippa 1, Agrippa 2, them all Edomite. All of it.
So that generation is probably still around today. It's Herod.
Oh, yeah, follow me. Let me start closing it out now, man. From the
Everybody
YouTube.
getting ready to get down. They
Yeah.
leaving, they
Close
running.
out the YouTube.